there is God and there is church. So church has to be the church of God.
True.
So it doesn't mean when you come to church, you actually are coming to God, because you can experience God on your own, at home. I think it is wrong for us to think that we are the ones to save people or to change people. People want things now, and they want to see things now. And the truth of the matter is that it's not those pastors that have the power, but it is your faith.
Yeah.
It is your faith that delivers that which you desire.
You can even get salvation from a fake pastor.
If you believe.
King David Studio podcast.
Today I'm hanging out with Bishop Benjamin Dube. It's an honor. It's one that I've wanted. It's been on my top 10 interviews to have. And I'm glad you made it. And I truly appreciate it. We had arranged a dinner if necessary. And he said, no, I'm alone here. Because we thought you'd come with a gang. Because you've been in the music business for so long. We think you have groupies. Clearly not.
Listen, I don't even have security.
Nothing.
I don't have anything. I just...
You're right, solo. Gyalpala. Gyalpala. No, I'm lying. I wish I had security.
The only thing that I know is sometimes I'm not very good when coming to directions and all that. So I always have to have somebody driving.
Hey.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Eh?
Yeah, right.
Jeez. Yeah, no. For me to get that, I have to call Uber.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I have a driver.
No, I don't think I will try that.
Yeah. How have you been, though? Are you well?
Oh, man. God has been good, and I should actually be grateful and thankful that at my age, there's still energy, there is still a strength, and there is still, I would say, a desire to do what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And obviously, there is always, different caps that I wear and that I need to pursue. And this side is more of music, and the other side is more of leadership in the church.
Yeah.
And even becoming an itinerary preacher, going places where I have to kind of like open up my heart and speak my heart, and and my relationship with God, and it has kept me busy, but it's a good busy.
Do you consider it a fun busy?
I would say that because I love what I'm doing, and I always make sure that I do what I love, because it doesn't become too hectic for me, or maybe difficult for me.
Yes,
it's kind of like a cruising, but at the same time, I've discovered that I would have to be in the right place at all times.
That's it.
Yeah.
Eh?
In the right place at all times.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm not, then I don't deliver as according to what I want, or I desire to.
Do you find that there are things of the many hats you wear that you dread? It's like, oh, it's that day. Now I have to do that one. Surely there must be one.
Not
paperwork for me is emails. There must be something.
That's even...
I dread.
Yeah, that's not a problem for me.
Oh, look at that.
That's not a problem.
So you're a WhatsApp guy, clearly.
Look, yeah. Well, I think WhatsApp, especially when coming to these the social medias and all that, and sometimes I dread them.
Really?
Yeah. The one that I seem to be more into is Twitter, which is the most craziest.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
I think I was introduced to it, and I thought at
Mm,
that time I thought that was the easiest because I knew about Facebook and
mm.
then Instagram. When I was introduced to it, then I thought, okay, better than Twitter.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not into photos. Maybe that's why it doesn't appeal to me so much. I have it,
yeah.
and I hardly know what's going on there.
Well, photos, at least they can speak, even if you don't actually say nothing.
That's true. You just post and let
Just
it,
post and
yeah.
let it be. You
And
know.
it can be interpreted in 1,000
In
different
a thought,
ways.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and I don't think I would actually bother myself in what do you think about it? What's your opinion about that? No,
Yeah,
I
nothing
just
like
posted it.
that.
That's it. But then obviously, even saying something, enhancing your communication with
Mm,
a picture, I think that's why I actually was kind of like kept on Twitter
mm,
because words, speaking, saying something,
true.
was my thing. But having said that, I mean, um, the issue of social media and all
Mm,
that, I realized that I have to say something that really resonate with my heart,
true.
what actually means something to me,
Yeah, yeah.
and then yeah.
I look at, because I wear a lot of hats as well. And I'm
Hmm.
going back to that thought.
Okay.
I wear a lot of hats.
Hmm.
It's the radio, it's the podcast, it's running a small
Yes.
business. It's not always easy, but you do
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best you can. And there are certain things that I don't particularly enjoy doing at all. When you look at your 7-day calendar, that includes the church.
Yeah.
That includes being a dad. That
Yeah.
includes being a husband, being all of that.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Which of these do you look at and wish you could remove if you had a chance? or when does this one end? Not that you mind it, but you
Yeah.
don't want to spend too much time doing.
I must admit, uh, the church on Sunday,
Mm,
you need to be focused and you need to have a message and content
mm,
and preparing for it and really taking time in because you don't just say something that you just read in the Bible that everyone else can read.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't just
you need to
rehash
go
the words.
deeper
True.
into it,
Yeah.
and that is where one has to actually do a research and really get to understand as to, okay, even the context.
Mm,
You need to know the context. You need, when you present the message,
yeah.
you need to make sure you've covered uh, the content, or let me say the context,
Mhm.
and you have the content,
Mm.
and you have even the challenge for people as to what are you saying,
Mm.
and in actual fact, how is this benefiting me?
True.
What is it saying to me?
Mm.
And the actual being prayerful, especially when coming to the church, coming to preaching and all those
Mm.
things. Anytime, if anyone would say, would you want me to take over from you? I would say, by all means, by all means,
Really?
just
I didn't see
I
that
would I
coming.
would be sitting and listening to somebody else than me actually speaking
But why?
to the
Why
people.
is that? It's you're a natural speaker. You're a performer. You're a guy who's been
Yeah,
on the stage for over 40 years now.
I think the performance, the music, it kind of like comes natural.
Yeah.
But the actual speaking and the preaching and the preparations and the research and all
Mm.
that is the thing that actually makes it a bit
Yeah.
dreading for me.
I think you overburdened yourself. If I had to help you here, let me assist you.
Okay.
Uh, uh, you can take a shortcut
Yeah.
and just fluff through it
Yeah.
and then play a piano.
and just make sure that the time runs. It just runs, and then
I bet
later
you there are
on.
people who do that. I say that because we now live in a time of shortcut pastors. Who just some building quickly,
Oh,
and then we
man.
live in that time
Oh, man.
where what are they called? These pastors that are about money, they're about
Yeah,
miracles and all of that.
prophets.
Exactly.
And
We live in that time,
yeah.
and you still spend time researching.
Look, I think it should be actually said that, or be spoken, told that if you don't put in much effort or work into something, you may not get anything. I wrote a song long ago. It says, "There's nothing for nothing." In other words, if you want to make money, you have to put every cent you have.
Yeah.
So you have to lose to gain. So it's those it's that understanding, if I may say, that understanding that actually speaks to me, such that don't take other people's time for granted.
Yeah.
You need to prepare yourself. You need, almost like when you are a public speaker, and those people have given you, and they are trusting you with their time, and so don't waste their time. So I think that is what I believe in, especially when coming to the church. I believe that those people have come because most of them are expecting something.
True.
Most of them, they need a breakthrough, and you can't just give them something that they could understand just at face value. You need to actually go deep and dig deeper, and really reveal some things that are mysteries, things that when they actually listen and hear them, they would actually give them breakthroughs in their lives.
True.
And they would say, wait a minute, I didn't look at it this way. And therefore, that simply means that there is hope. At face value, there is no hope. But even as I'm listening, this person has gone deeper, and it's almost like you taking a John 3:16 verse. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son,
True.
and that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't perish if I do what?
If I believe.
Whoever believe in Him, whosoever, and there is even that, whosoever, the one who believes the way God believed in Him. Whosoever, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. So that whosoever believes like God believes
True.
in you would not perish. If you believe in God the way God believes in you, you will not perish. So you take that, you realize, wait a minute. I thought as long as I believe in God,
I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Then I will have eternal life. But what did God do in showing that He believed in you? He gave.
His only son.
His only son. So that simply means that I got to give something for me to show that I believe in God the way God believes in me. And if I do, that simply means that I have an inheritance.
Here's the thought that comes from what you're talking about. And I guess in some small way, I alluded to it when I referenced shortcuts.
Okay.
Because that's really what the shortcut theory of life goes completely against the concept that you've just described now.
True.
That speaks of putting in the time, putting in the effort, putting in the research, and trying to understand, or putting in the money.
Yes.
Sacrificing something to get something. And it's exactly that.
Right.
We seem to live in a time of shortcuts in every space. Every day we read of a cash in transit heist. It's a shortcut.
That's right.
That speaks of all sorts of things. And this is where we are. Has this changed the life that we live now? Which is a difficult life experience of everything looking and seeming impossible.
Yeah.
From feeding yourself to looking after the kids. Has that changed the way you tell the story of the Bible? Because I reference it, I make reference to it as a story of the Bible
Yes, yes.
because it means different things on different days.
Yeah. Okay.
It means different things different times
Yeah,
in one's
yeah,
life.
but you can
The
read the
same
same
Bible,
thing,
absolutely.
the same thing, but it will mean something in different times
Yes,
and to different people.
absolutely.
I agree.
Has that changed the way you tell it, the way you deliver it,
Yeah.
the life that we exist in now? Basically, if you were to tell the same a story
Yes.
5-10 years earlier, you would tell it very differently. Have you evolved in the way you try to win souls?
Um, the truth about, especially the truth that one tells, definitely it actually depends on um, the time
Mm.
and the atmosphere. When I'm saying atmosphere, in other words, the kind of people that you are telling it to.
Okay. Yes.
And so it's you cannot actually just bring it up on the surface,
Yeah.
because it won't actually have roots. It won't actually be convincing. It won't. It's almost like you are just warming up something that has already been cooked.
Okay. Yes.
And you are just eating,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, it kind of like you are not genuine in what you are presenting.
Got you.
It's the issue of that's why I hate, I don't know, I'm just moving out of what I was trying to say now. That's why I hate miming
Okay, on stage. Yes.
Because you are not genuine. You are not presenting something that is original or something that is genuine from your heart. You are just acting what has been done before. So
even if you're acting your own work,
even if you're acting
still
your own
acting.
work, yes, but you're still acting, and sometimes it doesn't reach the people because it's right on the surface. So I would personally say, yes, it won't land the same way. You have to make sure that you go back to the genesis of the presentation. And for you, what is the genesis of the presentation is your heart.
True.
And when you get to your heart, you actually become genuine in what you are presenting.
I got you.
The life, that's why most of us are not really experiencing longevity. It's because of the very same issue of just doing things and not really doing it from the heart and being genuine about it. And so longevity has everything to do with the grounding, has everything to do with being what's the word for it? For the lack of a better, being original, then you then can stand the test.
I think
of
you're
time.
looking for authentic.
Yes, that's right, sir. Yeah, when you are authentic and you are original, then it actually resonates, and people can actually connect with you.
That's true.
I think that's how I can answer your question.
So fake it until you make it is a tricky concept in this regard, because you have to start with the fake, and the fake lacks a lot of things.
Look, to tell the truth, everything that is not original is been tested and will always be found wanting.
It won't last.
It doesn't last. And personally, I hate really sounding or maybe taking upon myself the style of another person, and
Mm.
just because that person is making it, and therefore let me get into the wagon and do what he does. And I believe you will stand the test of time when you are authentic and you're original, and say what is from your heart. Speak what is from your
From the
heart.
heart.
And most of the time, the heart is kind of like connecting with other hearts when you are doing it from your heart instead of
True.
from your mind.
Do you find that because clearly this is something that you've taken on, this role of
Yeah.
standing in front of an audience every Sunday or however often you do it, do you find that the business of church is a business that has to be taken into account? And I say
Mhm.
business deliberately because it has to sustain itself. It
Yes.
has to, it has
Yes.
to feed itself.
Yes.
Do you find that part is probably what over time complicates and invites wrong people into the business as well? What have you observed about the business of the church, the money side? Because that's the thing now.
Yes. But to start with, I think one needs to admit that as much as you are dealing with people that are in the process of being changed, and that still claim that they are saved and washed in the blood and speaking in tongues and all that, but you are still faced with the flesh.
Yeah.
So the business of the church is such that it's dealing with human beings, and who are have actually given themselves to a journey and a course of transformation.
They could have done it anywhere. They chose to do it with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. They chose to do it
Yeah.
with me,
Uh-huh.
and so and therefore you need to be well organized and well administrated, well managed, and at the same time not forgetting that you are representing somebody
Yeah.
who is a deity, who is above all, and being represented by just the flesh.
Yes.
And so every time God is excellent in
True.
all his ways.
Yeah.
God is orderly. God is well managed in all his ways. And therefore, when we represent him, we have to represent him well. His business has to be a business that shows and has attributes of excellence and has attributes of um, uh, order and good management.
True.
And all that, and therefore one who is a leader is expected to first lead himself.
True.
And be able to lead other people.
Yeah.
And so I would say it is business, and it should not actually be looked at as like ordinary business, and but then at the same time we need to understand that it is business that has human beings in it.
Who came
Yes.
for no commercial purpose, but on a journey, as you put it.
Yes.
There's a lot
Exactly.
more than just buying a pair of shoes here.
Exactly. And you need at the same time to always have them in mind, in saying I cannot actually expect perfection, but I can expect not discipline. I expect them to put in more into what they have committed themselves in. And obviously, the leader has to actually be the one that is ahead in making sure that they get to where you cannot lead people to a place where you are not.
You cannot give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Yes.
So a leader has to do that. And in my case, I need to make sure, even if I may not have the gift in those other areas, I need to bring in people that I know they will bring that grace and bring that gift so that the church may actually flourish and grow, and the church may become that which the vision that has been given is actually realized.
What makes the Church of Miracles as a concept, the church of you can't see and will make you see here, you can walk, will make you
Yeah.
walk, we can get you a job in this church. What has led to that in our society? You've seen us
Yeah.
as South Africans.
Yeah.
You've seen us as a hopeless
Yeah.
South Africa that's led by an apartheid regime. You've seen us as a hopeful South Africa that is looking forward to democracy. You've seen us as a very happy and excited South African that is now free.
Mhm.
And you've seen us decay over time and into something else. What has led to this sense of, because those churches flourish?
I think even the very issue of culture, in the very culture of uh, 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 believing in things being done, like
Just like that.
Yeah, you spoke about it.
Shortcuts and miracles.
The shortcuts and all that. I think that too played a role in making churches like that flourish. Sorry, because of the fact that people want things now. And they want to see things now. And the truth of the matter is that it's not those pastors that have the power, but it is your faith.
Yeah.
It is your faith that delivers that which you desire.
You can even get salvation from a fake pastor.
Look, if you believe,
That's my point.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that person doesn't mean that he is a genuine and, of course, of God, a godly man.
True.
But because of your faith, going back to some of the words of Jesus Christ, and Jesus was actually saying to the woman, your faith, woman, has made you whole. It doesn't mean it's me that actually healed you, but you came expectant and you believed.
Tumelo ya gago e o pholositse.
E o pholositse.
Yes.
It is not me. So everyone has been given a measure of faith, and you believe. And that's why sometimes we can believe even Zangoma and all that. It's faith. You believe in them.
Yeah.
You believe in a doctor that you go into a hospital and you know when you get in, he will actually give you the right thing, and you believe.
Sometimes they give you a placebo. It's just sugar. And
Yeah,
nothing.
right.
You take it.
And you take it, and it's all
well.
good. Yeah. So it's our faith. Everyone has been given the faith. And that's why even when coming to Jesus, in some places, he couldn't perform miracles because of the disbelief of the people.
Yeah.
So it comes back to the fact that we are the ones that are messing this thing up. Those that are going to those pastors and preachers and make them like they are God, And so we need to understand that it is our faith that actually does the work for us. If somebody comes here and says, you're not going to make it, and you believe that will show up.
Yeah.
And I always say to my church, if you can talk about the devil 80%, 90% of the time in the service, the devil will show up.
Because that's all you spend time on. You go back to a point you raised earlier about
Yes.
how it's the mind, and it's now
Exactly.
it's the mind, and the tongue translates the mind.
Yes.
And this is what we're talking about here.
Yes.
It will
Yes.
certainly manifest. Essentially, that's really where you're going.
It will because God has created us very, delicately,
Yeah.
such that we have everything that we need.
Mm.
Everything God has given it to us.
Even if you don't see it.
You don't see it, but it is given to you.
Mm.
It is just a matter of you believing and taking a step of your faith
Yeah.
towards that thing and work towards. That's why in some other scripture, there is a scripture that says faith without works is dead.
Mm.
So you have to put in work towards that which you actually believe and desire.
Something that always comes up, the power of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up all the time. But to get to that stage of believing is
Yeah.
not easy.
Yeah.
Surely, which is why churches are so big. This is why it's a
Mhm.
place we feel we need to go to.
Mhm.
It's a place we have to be reminded of. The very
Yes.
thing we're talking about, it's something
Yes.
that we feel we need to be reminded of.
Yes.
And it leads me to this point of leading yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's something that you made reference to earlier,
Yeah.
where surely it's hard to lead yourself. That's probably why we come for help.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and using basic examples, eating right. You
Yeah.
put 1,000 people in a queue and ask them what's the right food to eat. Every one of them is likely to tell you the same type of food.
Mm.
But if you ask them whether they do it or not, they eat that very food. Chances are they don't.
Yeah.
You know, I have to work out, I have to exercise, I don't have to smoke, drink, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
We know that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we seem to be having a challenge.
No, but then I think we all have inside us that conscience, and we have in it, an understanding of saying, even when you are doing the wrong thing, that thing comes and jumps up and saying, no, but this is not right. And it's just that we don't listen to it, and we don't give a chance to it for it to actually grow in us. And it's without a doubt. I mean, I've had experiences where I would say, but I knew I was doing wrong. I know that I was not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And many times, it kind of like, it's an issue. Many people always say there's two voices or whatever and all those things. But it's actually the conscience that is actually speaking to you in saying, be careful of this.
No.
This is not right. And that's where leading yourself comes in saying, I know this is not right. And therefore, I'm not going to do this. Everything is available for you.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad. But not everything is for you.
Yes. Wow. That's a Pastor Benjamin Dube quote. Did you hear that? Did you get that?
So it doesn't mean because it's available for me, it is for me.
True.
It maybe somebody actually would say, but it's there. Why shouldn't I?
We see Lily man.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm the one that is around here, and therefore I may no, but lead yourself in saying, yes, this money belongs to him. I need to actually pick it up and give it to him.
Yes.
It's not mine. And even sometimes, of course, like all the lifestyles and all that, everyone has a choice. You actually tell yourself, no, this is not for me. Or this is not right.
So you say the voice is the feeling, the energy, I shouldn't be here.
Y-
You know,
yes,
it's like I shouldn't be
yes.
here.
And it's always, most of the time, it's always right.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that not everyone would actually say, I will do what the word of God says or the Bible says and all that. Then God is aware of the fact that uh, I need to speak to each and every one.
Yeah.
And even myself, if I actually tell my story, is that when I actually accepted the salvation in my life, there was a voice that was actually speaking, and I had an encounter, or I had an experience, a personal experience that actually led me to a point where I realized, okay, I need to actually be a better person. I need to actually change. I need not to pursue this route or this lifestyle if I want to be better, if I want to be great, if I want to have longevity. In other words, all the dreams that I have, for them to actually come to pass. There's this voice that keeps on navigating, always telling you, no, not this, not that.
So you're saying
that.
all of us hear that
We
voice?
all have that.
Yeah.
We
Actually,
all.
I probably use the wrong phrase when I say hear it. It's
Yeah.
there, but whether we hear it or not, it's another story altogether.
And whether we give ear to it,
Yeah, that's another
or
thing.
even at a time to listen to it, but the main important thing for me is that people should not actually look at the at the church as God. There is God and there is church. So church has to be the church of God.
True.
So it doesn't mean when you come to church, you actually are coming to God, because you can experience God on your own, at home, and God can speak to you.
In the toilets. In the bedroom.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
It's just that when we get to church, that voice is being activated.
I was about to ask.
Yes.
If we truly can experience God anywhere,
Yeah.
why then
Exactly.
an institution like yours exists?
Activation of that hearing.
Ah.
Activation of the voice.
That we don't hear.
We don't hear because of so many things that we have speaking to us.
In Conversations with God, Book 1, Chapter 1, speaks of how does God communicate? It asks that question.
Yeah.
How does God communicate? Does he talk to everyone? Does he talk all the time? Does he have time? Or has he spoken?
Yeah.
And he stopped speaking, which is the Bible as a reference, that he
Yeah.
stopped speaking when that book was written, the last page, it was closed. Has he continued to speak? It's all those questions.
Look, the issue I think I can address is that God is the God of all creation. And sometimes we interpret God as different, meaning one would say, God is this to me, God is that to me. And I think, but in actual fact, the voice that has been given to each and every one, and which is what I call your conscience. It is God that has put it in there, in each and every one of us, to navigate us, to regulate us, and as His creation. And so that we may be within the boundaries of His plan. And so, but then when you actually get to a point of salvation, is when men actually moved away from God, and they were cut off from God.
Mhm.
And then God said, no way, I got to go back to my creation or to my people
Yeah.
and live with them and be with them. And that's why he then came up with a master plan
Yeah.
of being born and live among them and reveal himself to them. And this plan is actually bringing us back to God.
Yeah.
And that is when I mean, I'm not a theologian, but I know that God loved the world
Mm.
and he gave to the world. And for the world to be restored and reconciled with him.
Mm.
And when man started to move away, God said, I still want them. I
Mm.
still love them. I still want to live among them. I still, because it happened with Adam. And the Bible says God would come down to the garden and he would actually fellowship with Adam.
Mm.
And Adam would speak with God. And that is the flesh speaking to the spirit.
Yeah.
And having communication with the spirit, and which actually brings us to that situation where when you are in church, you are actually communicating in the same way as Adam,
Uvula masango.
yes,
Yes.
used to communicate
Yeah.
with God who created him.
What do you say to those that say, if God is so great and so wonderful, and my life doesn't reflect that, and yet I believe?
Yes. Okay.
You realize where
Okay.
this is going.
Yeah.
And that's why I put that little note at the end.
Yeah. Right.
Yet I
right.
believe.
Yeah.
I'm an honest person. I'm a kind person. I
Yeah.
do good. I give 2 rands to the guy at the street corner.
Mhm.
I'm good at work. I'm just a great husband. But I struggle. My life is that of strife and permanent nonsense.
I believe that there's no one perfect,
Okay.
no human being that is perfect. And I think, let me just say, from my experience, only God is perfect.
Mm.
And there's things that we do not know and that only God knows. And mysteries that are being for God and not actually for man. And so the truth of the matter is that you hang around somebody who is perfect, then you actually learn his ways and then you become as he is. The longer you hang around somebody, you will then pick up on his attributes.
Yeah.
And then you happen to do the same as he does.
Let me interpret your
Yeah.
your answer
Yeah.
in the best way I understand it.
Mhm.
You're saying this guy is great. He
Mhm.
does everything right
Mhm.
according to biblical correctness.
Okay.
You're just a good guy.
Yeah, right.
They say good guys don't get the girl, but you get where I'm going with this. You're just a good guy.
Okay.
But your life still reflecting that you're struggling. Are you then saying that this person still has work to do?
Well, I mean,
And I mean by
yes.
experiencing
Yeah.
the perfection that you reflect,
Yeah.
the perfection of spend time with God,
Yeah.
spend
Yes.
time, immerse yourself in Him.
Yes.
Oh,
Getting
hey,
to know him.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're heading in the right direction already.
Yes. I think that is the main thing.
Yeah.
And one other thing maybe I may add on that is that the issue of good guy, you may be good to me,
Yeah.
but your goodness may not be the goodness of another person who's.
That's true. but I would like to argue and say there's
Yes.
universal kindness.
Yeah.
Kindness can.
Do you know? I'm just
Okay.
throwing it. Do you know that even good people
Mm.
are never celebrated, and some people don't like them,
Well,
or
true.
kind people?
There's always someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But why is that so? Is because there is another angle that people are looking at him
True.
through,
Yeah.
and via.
It could be also how they look at themselves.
Y- y-
Because I described this
Yes,
guy
yes, yes.
as
You are
he's-
correct.
Yeah,
You're
everything about
correct.
him is great.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because, and sometimes it's because of you maybe expecting,
Mhm.
and
That
therefore,
I'm doing good.
yeah, and that is not coming through. And so, what I'm trying to say now is that uh, with God, who has created us and who knows, He's omniscient, He's omnipotent, He's omnipresent, and so he knows all. When coming to us as human beings, we can only know as according to our world, meaning my world. And my world is different, even though we live in the same country, but my world is different from your world.
True.
And so the issue is, we actually have been created by God, who knows all, who is everywhere at the same time, who is meaning omnipotent, which is all powerful,
Yeah.
and all that. So for me, when you have Him on your side, your life takes a shift or a molding into that which He is.
Yeah.
The more you spend that time with Him, is the more you get the understanding and the knowledge and even the attributes of the one that you spend time with.
If I would use a thought that crossed in my mind, it's completely unnecessary. If God was food and you spend more time with Him, uba isidudla ngothando loJesu, ngothando loNkulunkulu. It's a useless
So
point.
I get what you're saying.
You
But
get where
I
I'm
agree.
going.
I agree with you. I agree, because even food can be your God.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
Yes.
It's that which you actually pay more attention to, and you give your time to,
Becomes.
and it actually it changes your life.
True.
It influences your life.
Mm.
So I agree with you on that issue.
Mm.
And I think it is important for one to understand that God has created all these things and He has given it to us. And on earth, He has actually given us dominion to rule over them. And in other words, there is a delegated authority that has been given to mankind to rule as God rules. So that's why I'm actually talking about the fact that our partnering with God and working, or let me say, spending time with God, actually will make us be like Him and rule and dominate and be as He is on earth. But then we need to always remember that He has delegated the authority and the power to all of us.
It's a difficult subject, and I call it that because it continues to carry misunderstanding.
Yeah.
It continues to carry different interpretations,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you're aware of this. Standing in front of a crowd of people, telling them. Fortunately, those who walk through the church already
Yeah.
are converted, so to speak, or they're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and the subject of religion, Christianity, tends to have all sorts of
Yes.
interpretations.
Yes.
Have you found that you have to work twice as hard to convince people of God? And I say that in a time when there's other religions.
Yes. True.
In a time when it's just other beliefs.
True.
That's just
Yes,
how
yes,
life has
yes.
become.
Yes.
And in some parts of the world, Christianity is frowned upon.
Yeah.
in some part of the world, there's fewer Christians than
Mhm.
there are other
Mhm.
other beliefs.
Mhm.
Have you found that with time you've had to work more harder to get people around, so to speak?
You know, it's for me, it's not an issue of trying to work harder because um, all I am is just a messenger. It's not an issue of trying to convert people or to change people into Christianity. As a matter of fact, Christianity it comes from from a background of calling people that were the followers of Jesus
That's
Christ
true.
as Christians.
Mhm.
But I think Jesus never spoke of Christianity. He spoke,
I like this. Jesus wasn't a
yes,
Christian.
yeah, wasn't.
Yeah.
And he was talking of the kingdom of God
Mm.
all the time, and which he was assigned for. And so, with time, the issue, and I say this even in my church, that I sometimes don't want to be called a Christian. I'd rather actually be called a son of God,
Yeah.
a child of God. And why? Because it has kind of like a negative impact, because people are running with that Christianity as a religion as if they are perfect. And at the same time, it has been polluted, meaning Christianity.
True.
But having said that, um, the issue uh, of me having that relationship with God, I don't have to try and convince people. I have to actually present what my experience is. I have to kind of like testify in speaking of the evidence in my life as to this actually worked for me. And therefore, you better try it too. But I I think it is wrong for us to think that we are the ones to save people or to change people. And as a matter of fact, when you look into it, you speak a word, and my understanding is that it is the work of the Spirit of God to convict and to deliver.
Wow.
All I do is to speak that word and believe God to do the work in their lives. And that's why even in my church, I don't do a lot of altar calls and come and just speak the word and let the people receive the word, and the Spirit of the Lord will actually interpret, will continue to convict, will continue to change and mold, and really make people become that which they desire.
So yours is not a church of miracles.
No,
It cannot.
no.
Yeah.
We come and worship God.
Yeah.
We speak the word. We actually worship from a biblical point of view, and the scripture in John chapter 4 verse 20 to 24, God is seeking for those that will worship Him in spirit and in truth, and truth is found in the Word of God. And God reveals the truth to us. And sometimes as I worship, God is able to reveal to me.
Do you find God's work where you in your own personal experience say, "Whoa, that was a miracle in my life experience." In your life, do you find
Yeah,
moments that are miraculous in their
yeah,
form, and you say, "That's not me"?
yeah. Oh, many times. There's so many people that have actually come to me and said, you know what? When you sang that song,
Mm.
uh, the thoughts that I had, negative thoughts that I had of committing suicide,
Ooh.
of killing myself, And the thoughts that I had that I'm a failure and I'm not going to make it in life, or even that which I am dreaming of is never going to come to pass, were erased in my mind, and there was a new hope that rose up
Mhm.
in me, and I thought, no way, I am I'm gonna make it, and I am important, and it when I look at it, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I did sing, I did worship, I
Mm.
did this, I did that, but I know I didn't do that.
Mm.
It that didn't. It was not my doing.
You've done all those
Yes,
stuff,
yes.
but not the
N-
impact.
No, the
You
impact.
couldn't have
I
done
was
that.
not able to reach that place
Yeah.
where this person would say something happened.
And you find it's a song that you wrote and created 20 years ago. It continues to make a difference in someone's life today.
I shared something very recently, and I said sometimes God will break you to be a blessing to other people.
Mm.
Because some of the songs that I would write, they're so personal, and but all of a sudden they healed somebody who was in the same situation. And when you write the song, you were broken.
True.
And one song that I wrote was "I'll Rise Again," and it was a very dark moment for me, but in my breaking, God actually made me a blessing.
Are you saying even while Benjamin Dube has dark moments? Never.
But
Dark
David,
moments.
David, you like?
Never.
Listen, everybody has moments
Mm.
where you find yourself in the valley, uh, where you really do not have anyone, but you can only, call to God and say, Lord, if really you are there, and as you have claimed to be, even as a bishop, you get to that point where you actually have to look for God and say, Lord, show up. Because right now, um, I'm in a situation where I need you to help. And I can't help myself, and no one can help me. And so I need you to show up. And I experienced that even when I actually had the first divorce, which I had two divorce, um, and obviously I was still in my journey and growing in my relationship with God. And when that happened, sometimes you become so super. Uh, uh, like you are a superman as a pastor. You want to help everybody.
Mm.
You are everywhere. You want to be everywhere.
Mm.
You want to please everybody. And so I found myself in that situation. I didn't have the somebody to actually lean on, or somebody who could mentor
Sheesh.
me. And I was so uh, energized to do ministry,
Mm.
and
At the sacrifice of something else.
at the sacrifice of my family.
Oh no.
And I kind of like realized when it was too late
Oh no.
that, okay, I'm running and I'm leaving them behind,
Ooh.
and I'm just running in the name of doing the work of the Lord.
You're
So,
doing God's work, and it sounds noble and everything.
exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
what are you losing?
But I was like, it was almost like it felt good to me, and it was right for me, but I didn't consider what it actually felt for my family and what they were going through
Hmm.
while I was doing what I was doing.
While you were feeling good.
Mhm.
Oh no. That is a
Oh,
dark
no.
moment.
So, and I was left alone.
Oh,
and
no.
that's when then, of course, I got to a point where I had to be alone with my boys
Yeah.
and brought them up.
Whoa. Tough one, eh? But
But it,
do you
it
find
was,
do you find blessing in some of the darkest moments?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I totally feel like at that time I felt like it was, um, not right.
The end of the world.
Yeah, it was not right. It was not feeling right and all that. But later on, I realized that it made me who I am today.
Mm.
Because today, um, I am more wiser. I'm even more mature
Mm.
than I was before. And obviously, even in the ministry, now I'm able to actually say, okay, that actually affected me before.
You recognize.
Okay, no, and so you learn out of all those experiences.
What are some of the challenges you experience running a church? What are your own? Because managing a church can come. You're dealing with humans
Yes,
with different aspirations
yeah.
and so forth.
Well, I think I was blessed because I happened to have my brother
Mm.
who actually is older than me. And my establishing the church, I established it and then later on brought him in
Ah,
to be my assistant and for him to be able to do the admin, meaning to be uh, a local pastor
okay.
and then do the groundwork and do all that. And so I'm doing the overseeing of
Okay.
the church. Uh, so um, I think in my early years, for 3 years, I actually, when I established it, I was hands on.
Mm.
And then after 3 years, then I gave over to him to do the other
Yeah.
part of the work. But I think that's where I decided to say, mm-mm,
Maybe not.
no, I don't think. Actually, I burnt my fingers by
Yes.
trying to do this. This is not me, and I'd rather start the work, oversee the work, and give
Hand
over to
over.
hand
Yes.
over to people who can actually do the managing and the administration of the work.
What led to you establishing a church in the East End?
It's
You.
because I moved from Soweto
Mm.
and then I went to East Rand. We actually bought a house
Okay.
with my wife.
So it was home.
It was home,
Yeah.
and that's where I got that kind of like nudge of saying, this is where I am, and my feet are in this place, and therefore this place shall be blessed.
Mm.
And then obviously it was very clear that I needed to start there, and in my time in prayer, I was led to doing that.
Yeah.
So, and that was after I was actually ordained as a pastor.
I want to go back to the beginning. This is the part that has more image. Umoja.
Yeah,
Udobradon.
right.
Pop music.
Oh man.
Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Soweto,
Yeah.
and
Paraguana, most likely.
there was what is
A nursing home. Which
no,
one?
yeah, and there's what do they call it, garden,
Yeah, which one is that?
yeah, yeah, next to Mayfair.
Protea?
No, but next to Mayfair. Oh man,
We'll remember.
anyway. I forgot the name now because they changed the
Okay,
name. Yeah.
yeah.
But definitely, I'm a Soweto boy,
Through and
and
through.
then we lived in Meadowlands, and I grew up there, and uh, uh, and of course, then my family was a musical family, and my dad was a guitar player, my mom singing,
Okay.
and of course, as we grew up and siblings. I had my sisters, two sis. I'm the last born,
Mm.
and four siblings.
Okay.
Yeah, so two brothers. Um, so
Do you
then
establish the Jackson Fives?
that's how we started, but it's my mom that actually brought us together as singers, and he taught us how to sing. And my father was already a preacher,
Mm.
but both of them were teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, my father was a preacher in Assemblies of God, so he would be traveling and all that. And then when he started crusades, then we had to go sing in those crusades.
Mm.
And my mom teaching us songs, how to sing,
Hmm.
how to hold a note, and all
Jeez.
that. So yeah, it kind of like became a musical family.
You seem like the one that kept it going. Well,
Yeah, I think because of the fact that I started playing an instrument,
mm.
and when my father actually passed on, and then I continued with that legacy of a guitar player, and my mom continued, meaning uh, keeping the family together
Mhm.
and making sure that we continue with music and singing and all that, and then we traveled,
Mm.
and after my father passed away, went to Netherlands, and because it's a singing family,
Yeah.
so people would say, "Oh, their dad passed away. Oh,
Mm.
and they have this gift, and
Wow.
let us try and help them and nurture them and all that." And then later on, as we grew up, each and every one took their own
The different direction, but
directions.
yours stayed.
I
You
stayed,
stayed.
and of course, my mom too
Yeah.
was still in the music.
Jeez.
So yeah,
Was it clear early enough for you that this is what you're likely to do? Better part of your life.
not really, because there's two things that I loved doing, and that is soccer.
Okay. Were you
Uh,
any good?
Well, they gave me a name. Maybe
Okay.
that will give you a clue.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I'm
They gave
curious.
me a name.
I'm a huge soccer fan. I'm a
Yeah.
terrible
Oh
player,
no.
but I'm a
Me too.
fan.
Now I'm a fan.
Yes.
But they used to call me Star.
Wow.
So in Midlands. So I, especially when coming to dribbling, I loved
What?
dribbling.
So you had the
I used to
feet.
play, meaning center forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
So
Center forward. That's number 9.
yes.
That's the last guy.
Well, and I used to play for what do they call this? There was this club that I used to go
Mm.
Sundays, and my dad would actually say, "No, no, no, stop this thing. We must go to church."
Yes. Eh?
Yeah, yeah.
So
It was Santos, yeah, Santos in Midlands.
was there a time when it was a serious conflict between the church and soccer?
Yeah, because now I had already started playing guitar, and so my dad, even before I started playing guitar, all of us were supposed to go to church. And I mean, I was like, no, I want to go play soccer and
I'm
all
a
that.
star.
Listen, I mean, people know.
Yes.
But, later on, I realized that soccer has a certain lifespan. And so music will go on and on.
Forever.
Yeah.
Until you don't feel like singing anymore.
Yes, that's
you can
right.
sing until the last day of your
Look,
life.
if I'm now like lived 6 decades, I'm still doing this thing. So,
Jeez. And in terms of school, was there a strong schooling influence within the family?
oh yeah, well, we're not that academic.
Mm.
You know, even though
Your
our
parents are
parents
teachers.
were teachers,
Yes.
but we were not that academic. Especially when coming to me, even at school,
Mm.
I had a singing group.
Way back.
So I started a group called Share the Good News. So we would sing in the assembly.
Mm.
Every time they would
Babi
actually
Zen. It's also cool.
share the good news. About Benjamin.
Mm. Yes, you were those kids.
No, it was really, that's where it started.
Yeah. So
That's where it
school
started.
was I have to be here.
Yes. But I think it actually worked well for me because, you know, I then was able to make a difference between, what I have, what I want to do.
Mm.
And even when I have made that difference, I would be able even to communicate and I would be able to interact, you
Mm.
know, that really the grounding of school helped me and I was not that kind of a person who will bunk school. I would just go to school because everyone has to go to school,
True.
and
Yeah.
up until I finish.
But no aspirations because we have designed school as the solution to our poverty. That's what we've done as a society. We've created it as it'll get you out of this mess. It doesn't always work that way, but it's still the one possible option.
Yeah,
It still gives you the parachute that you have on your back in case all
in
fails.
case
Just blow this
they
thing
always
up.
say when you fall off.
There you go. That's why I used that reference of a parachute.
Right.
So, but
Fall
you
back on it.
exactly. You
Yeah.
didn't see it that way at all.
Well, with me, obviously, my parents looked at it that way in saying, make sure you have to finish school.
Yeah.
And which I did, meaning
Matric
to
level.
matric level. Yeah. After that, I attempted, to be like them and go for teachers
Teaching
training.
college,
Yeah,
yes, wow.
teachers training.
Did you go?
I did for 3 months, and
Yeah.
I left the place in Soweto.
Hey, my thoughts.
I couldn't. I sat there 3 months and I said, no, this is not for me.
Mm.
And I just left. I mean, I was
Already performing artist.
yeah, no. Yes, I had already started performing.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I had already been received in the college
Mm.
and that I would do teachers training. I qualified, in other words, whatever.
Mm.
And so, but still, I was like, no, I don't think.
If I was to give advice to that young Benjamin Dube, I'd say maybe you should have started a choir at the teachers' college. You may have stayed longer.
Right. But at the same time, the actual classical, I was not into that. The tonic solfa and all those things. I needed something that will actually speak to me now, and really instrumental and all that. The the contemporary and all that. That's where I was more. It's such that even at school, when it was choirs, my teacher who was conducting us, and he would say, no, Benjamin is not supposed to be in the choir because he's got his own way of singing. And therefore, you leave him out of the choir. He must just continue and do his thing, Wow. So, yeah, I don't think I would have pursued that.
Interesting how you left and what did you do? Because I'm thinking about this Benjamin that's thinking, I'm out. Did the parents take it well? This thing that I'm no longer going because you're still a young boy. You're not
Yes.
particularly old at this stage.
Obviously, I had to actually go to a music academy.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yes.
And that
I went-
option resonated with the parents.
Yes, they actually say you have to do something. In other words, go learn about something. You know, and when I actually registered and then I did at that time it was what is it? And there was Funda, and there was another one in town. But
Okay.
I started with the one in town, and then I went to Funda Center, and then I kind of like continued with their practicals and things like that. And then the issue of performance then started.
Oh.
And that's when I started now getting in touch with the chicos and things like that while I was doing music in the
In
academy.
school,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you know a name that comes across a lot in this room? If these walls could speak, they would tell me how many times people have said Chico.
Oh yeah.
It comes up a lot.
No, he has done very well, and especially in discovering talent
Yeah.
and really giving opportunity to gifted and talented people.
How did he
I
find
think
you?
Or
How did you find him?
yeah, he actually saw me on television. At that time, it was TV2
Oh, yeah, that. Yes.
yeah,
Kamkibelo.
Kamkibelo and
Yeah.
all that. And so I was with my family there, and we were like doing our thing. And then later on, I actually did a talent search, and they actually saw me even there, and then they came and they actually they traced me, they looked for me.
Yes.
Somehow, Sillo had a girl whose sister was in my Share the Good News.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Elia.
Yes, Elia, yeah.
Yes.
So, and then they said, no, I know him. He used to sing with my sister, and meaning that was his girlfriend.
Yes.
And so, and I said, no, I can actually get
I can
his
hook you
contact.
up.
And then they came to my place, my home.
He was that impressed.
Yeah, no, he then spoke to me and said, look, man, we want somebody who can do leads for us. We are about to start a band and all that, things like that.
You.
I said, okay.
You agreed.
No, I agreed, but at that time I was still under my mom's, and then my mom said, as long as you are not to continue with it, you're just doing the lead for their recording and out.
Oh.
So
it was just for a session, the way it was presented.
yes. But then they wanted me to continue with them because then we did the tour. We went to Lesotho. We went to quite a number of places.
What band was this? Remind us.
It was Image.
Image.
Yeah, Image. With the likes of Don Lager and Jimmy Mgwandi.
Yeah.
And Donovan Knox.
Jeez.
You know, it was the support sticks.
Of course, it's that
time
era
and,
when actually there's an album right behind me.
Yeah.
When they had the beaters. It's
during that
so
time.
did you have Pam and tight pants, leather pants,
listen,
and chains, and because that's what they
listen. Chico and them, they got me into that style. Well, I had Pam,
Yeah.
but not the tight pants and all that.
Leather pants and chains.
But I had to adapt.
play along.
And then later on, I really I didn't stay long.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the songs that you did?
You've got to be my girl.
How did it go? Remind us. No, seriously, remind. I'm curious. You know why? What sparks this curiosity? Because there are people who only know the spirit of praise of Benjamin too. They don't realize that there was a guy who sang about love and stuff. Remind us. Just a little
Oh
bit.
man.
Just a little bit.
What was, how did it go? I even forgot.
Let me see if we can find
it.
it.
You've got to be my girl.
Let me see.
Come
I
on.
wonder if Image.
Come on.
I wonder if Image exists at all on
No,
Spotify.
man, you don't
let's
have
just
to.
see. Let's see. Image. And do you remember the album? It's not even there.
Yeah. But if it was a single.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Called?
yeah,
You've got to be
you've
my
got
girl.
to be my girl.
Okay.
And there was another one which was titled Valencia.
Whoa.
And oh man, those are
Man,
olden
I can't
days.
find it. I can't find the image.
That's good, even.
I can't find it. You've got to be my girl.
No, that I can't even remember because I did that and it sold gold.
What?
And that's when I thought to myself, I was conflicted. And I said, no, man, maybe I need to branch out and just do secular.
Yeah.
Meaning that
the
line,
pop stuff. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah. Well, quite a number of people were actually saying that you're wasting your gift, at that time.
What do they mean with the
in doing
gospel? Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we did the album, and after that, I told Chico and I said, Silo, listen, Baba, this is not my thing. I think I need to do a gospel recording or something that is about gospel.
What was his reaction to
And
that?
he said, no, but it's fine. We can still continue with Image and we do your thing.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, fine. And then we did Holy Spirit, and which is the one that actually launched me in as a solo artist.
And when you say solo, because for you solo is also spoken twice, you had to leave the family group as well.
Yeah, that was the most difficult thing for me.
Yeah,
because it was almost like I'm now big-headed.
Really?
And I am not considering them as worth pushing,
True.
because the Dube family was already recording, as Dube family. But when I then branched into solo, then it died.
Hey.
Because everyone was now saying, no, but I said, no, I'm still here. We can still do.
Whenever you want, I'm here.
I'm here. Then that caused that deciding of taking different, routes. And
did it affect the fabric of the family at all?
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
What happened is that then my mom was able to still make sure that we continue recording.
Okay.
But the only thing that was a bit difficult for me to do was doing the performances and all that.
Because you had to be at different places.
Yes. And with my voice on Image, that demanded me to be everywhere where they are.
And they go to Lesotho.
Yes. But I must say, it was not for me a very great experience on basis of my belief. And because
the Image, the detour.
No, it was definitely not representing what I had in my mind of becoming an artist.
But would help me understand this small part, because even even the worst of experience or parts you don't enjoy can taste good. Did you enjoy the image experience at all?
No,
No.
no, I didn't.
And what was
No. I what I loved was just the experience of the music,
okay, but not the
not the lifestyle, and not the popularity, the image as in
image.
image,
Yes.
uh, um, I didn't at all. I
Really?
loved the music. I
Mm.
loved doing what we were doing, but immediately after stage, I really I was almost like I was not belonging
True.
there.
You were not the perfect
No,
fit.
no, not
You were
really.
good on stage after that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that led to me not staying long.
Did you do only that one project?
Yes. Well, I did too.
We have to look for it. Please spend a minute. We have to look for some. I'm looking for, and excuse the pun, I'm looking for an image of you as part of image.
No, but
There must be an album cover of
No.
sorts.
I wasn't. I was only with the voice.
Oh, really?
I was never on the cover.
What?
But live, I was
You
there,
on stage.
On stage.
You were not.
I was not part of them, especially when coming to the sleeve
all of
and all that.
that.
But the voice was in there.
Do you still have pictures of this experience at all? There must be one or two.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Jeez, it's all in memory.
All in memory and in recordings.
Of course, the work is still there.
Yeah.
Amazing, eh? You must at least be proud of these beginning stages of your career.
Well, it was a great experience, and I really loved it because we were all in the same, age, and I happened to learn a lot because I was not exposed to the other gifts or other people's gifts, and especially when coming to the other genres of music. And I was more into gospel, and it was kind of like a very small,
tiny little space. Yes.
So, and it opened me up to a bigger vision of the music industry.
Do you look at that moment and use the phrase "a bigger vision" and give credit to maybe a different outlook to the career that you ended up with? Do you look at that moment and say, you know what, if it wasn't for that, maybe I wouldn't have pushed as far as I did?
No. I got my breakthrough there.
Yeah.
I really do. I wouldn't really say I was already established before then. Yes, it was because of that opportunity that I got in working with Image, and especially with Silo. That really, I would say, I'm where I am today is because I started there.
Amazing.
And I must say, even right now, one needs to actually really acknowledge Usilo. He may not actually know his heart was so big to really be able to welcome different people.
So many people.
Yes. Truly speaking, it's so commendable the work that he's done.
Let's spend another minute on Sello Chico Twala. I don't know the man. I've never met Sello at all. And hopefully we will soon. But the fact that his name comes across exactly the way you describe him. Let me tell you, two people that come to mind. Lindelani Mkhize says exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He doesn't even add any extra spice. That man just made me. Who else says that? I'll tell you quickly. Is it Mandla Spikir?
Yeah.
Yes, Mandla Spikir makes the same reference.
He gave many people
a break,
the platform, and when he believes in you, he will definitely run with you
Amazing.
unendingly, or even in spite of whoever says anything. And I think with me, he always would actually say, your gift, whatever you want us to do, let's do it.
So was he involved in your first gospel album?
Yeah, it was a single.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
it was a single. Holy
Yeah.
Spirit.
The
He actually,
popular Holy Spirit.
yes, he basically wrote the song with me.
Amazing.
I actually just brought in the lyrics and the
music.
the music, the
Yes.
groove, everything. He actually put it together, and it just exploded. And all of a sudden, everybody knew Benjamin Dube.
I remember that time.
And from then on, and worst of all, I mean, that gospel thing was played in shebeens, in clubs.
Well, even
and-
now,
Yeah.
your
yeah.
songs are played in shebeens and clubs.
Yeah.
Al Shaddai played in shebeens and clubs. Trust me, it is. People raise their
Oh, my
beers up
word.
in the air and
Yeah,
sing your song.
Right. And sometimes they even invite me in some of these places.
And come and hang out and hear your music.
And they even say, please sing for us.
Then they-
I've done
Jeez.
Prestige in Mpumalanga. I've done what is this in Pretoria? There's another.
These are drinking sports.
Yes, they just called me in, and look, for me, I believe that everyone deserves the good news.
Absolutely.
You know, uh, God is God of everyone. In other words, is God of the world and
Mhm.
everything. And then when it says, "For God so loved the world," that's what it means.
And everything in it.
Everything in it.
Yeah.
And when we are given the Great Commission that go ye into the world and preach, this is one other way of doing it.
That's so
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
and you going to where people are and just spread the good news.
Amazing.
You know.
You haven't stopped being a member of is it the Good News? The first group in school? What was it?
Yeah, share the good news.
Share the good news. You haven't stopped being a member of that band.
No. It's because that actually resonated with my heart in saying we have a lot of bad news. You know.
Let us do this.
Yeah, good news is what people need.
Yeah.
You know.
What happens in your career beyond that point? Besides the regular appear on TV, Dube, or whatever other show that you are appearing on. What happens to your career? Because academia, is it still a part of you? Studying music, is it still a part of you at this stage?
Not
Yeah,
as
you're
of
done.
now.
No. I mean at that stage.
With that
one single,
yes,
that one gospel. You're still going to school.
I still actually continued
Yes.
with my because I did my diploma in music.
Yeah.
You know, and that is theory and practicals.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why I used to play guitar and taught myself playing guitar, but then I branched out into piano because I kind of learned it even at school. Though I still loved guitar, so so I continued in that, but I just stopped when coming to my diploma, and then I thought to myself, okay, because one other thing then later that I did, I actually went to UNISA to study psychology.
Okay.
But I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I did 2 modules.
What inspired that decision?
I think it's leadership, especially when coming to church, in dealing with human behavior.
Yeah,
in how to counsel, how to really speak to people, and to really know how to handle them.
true.
You know.
Yeah. It's
So
a skill, eh? It's not everybody can pull it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it gave me just a head in, or
Okay. Yeah.
heads up, if you like, um, into understanding,
Yes.
about human beings.
How did you handle fame right early stage of the famous
Uh,
Benjamin Dube?
Um, I think my nature helped me a lot in not trying to be big headed,
Mm.
and when actually I broke into the industry and all that, I still uh, maintained my being grounded, you
Mhm.
know, and it really uh, considering other people,
True.
and really listening to other people. I think that helped. Even the very issue of my faith in God
Mhm.
actually helped me be grounded,
Yeah.
knowing, that the gift that I have is from above,
Yeah.
and therefore I need to be a good steward of it. So it helped me a lot, and I think that's why I'm still here today, because I didn't develop that
Mm.
attitude.
The famous guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
and becoming arrogant, looking down at other people, and kind of like competing with other people. I don't think I'm there.
Mm.
No.
What was, do you look at your life at that stage and think that the blow up was sudden, or it felt like a grind towards it? You felt like a lot of hard work.
No, I don't. I think it kind of like blew up
Yeah,
just
just
all
like
of a
that.
sudden. Yeah.
Yes.
But one other thing that helped, it didn't come with a lot of money. It
Mm.
it
Why do you
it
say it helped?
it helped because, I mean, sometimes even money can actually kind of like boost you, and for you to think that you don't need anyone.
Mm.
So I think I kept that cool. I kept on the ground, and gradually,
Mm.
then the benefits
Yeah.
were coming in
Gradually. So a
gradually.
gradual growth is interesting. I was reading a certain book that speaks of the sudden versus the gradual growth, and it speaks to very the sudden growth, particularly
Yes,
of spoils. It can go to the head very easily
very
and mess
easily.
up your life. And
True.
also when it ends, it becomes such a disaster as
Sudden
well.
too.
A sudden end.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Easy come, easy go, as they say.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So you're saying a gradual growth is probably not a bad thing at all.
Oh, it is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not against people that have got it
Hey.
like that,
Mm.
but then you need to have uh, um, the way of maintaining. You need to know how to manage. You
Mm.
need to know how to be a good steward of it. Uh, most of the time, if it came like that, you are not ready for it.
Yes.
You do not know how to handle it.
Mm.
But when it comes gradually, and then you are being trained, you are for you to, when
Mm.
you get there, then you know what, I didn't get it overnight.
Mm. You
And
worked for it as well.
yes, you
Yes.
worked for it,
Yeah.
and therefore you need to make sure that you appreciate it,
Mm.
and you, you become a good steward,
That's
if I may put
true.
it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I guess it's you're not the first to say that about all sorts of growth when it comes nice and slowly. Like everything grows nice and slowly.
Yes. Yes.
Plants grow nice and slowly.
True. True.
Was gospel fashionable during the time you released your first single?
No. No.
What was the musical landscape? How did it look
It
like?
was Barorisi
Oh, that
Bamurena,
kind.
choirs, and all that. And I remember it was just before Rips actually branched into gospel.
Gospel, really?
Yes.
Really?
And so,
Ribs branched before you?
no,
Oh,
I I was in the
Okay.
in
Gospel.
the gospel before Reeves
Okay.
came in, but I was not effective in whatever I was doing because
okay.
of the style of music I was doing.
Yeah.
I was doing more of American.
Oh.
I was doing more English, and at
Mm.
that time there was more of Barorisi, which is vernacular.
Yes.
Listen
Yeah,
to
it
that.
is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and meaning they were doing Sutu,
True.
Zulu,
Yeah.
and
And that was working.
it was
Of
happening.
course.
It was happening.
Yes. El Baruris is still
And
working today.
I would be billed with them,
Oh boy.
and I'm doing English. It was almost like, and quite a number of people didn't love my music. And they
Mm.
said, no, but Benjamin is too English, and all that. So, and yeah, it was not, especially contemporary,
Yeah.
it was never
Sure.
in the landscape of music.
Wow.
Contemporary was nowhere.
Did
It
you
was
feel
traditional.
Yes.
All the way.
Tap and clap. Is that what
Yes,
it's called? Yes,
exactly.
That style.
That was it.
Yes.
When I came up with Holy Spirit, and it meaning with Silo,
Yes.
it broke out
But what
and
was
it blew up.
what in your opinion was made that song blow up then? Considering the landscape.
No, I think the beat.
Mm.
And it was more current. It was current
Yeah.
at the beat and the music, but then it had the gospel.
Yes.
And people were like, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man, no, Holy Spirit, man. And then they were dancing to it,
Yes,
and all
it
that.
had a similar vibe.
Yes,
As the,
and then they used to call it bubblegum music.
of course,
yeah.
yes.
So people actually could relate
Yeah.
to the music, the sound, and all that. And so Chico was really
He solved that little problem.
He did. So, and that's when I got now, calls for gospel shows and all
Yeah,
that. And they said,
man.
no, man, Holy Spirit is an in thing. And
Jeez.
so I started doing that. And after that, then people were warming up to contemporary and English and whatever.
Do you find that it was a bit of a hard work to get the English thing through? Because I look at now.
Was.
Yes, I look at now that it's what most musicians you work with do.
Yes, it was. I mean, there were when actually Rips got into and she became big, and then even my coming in the shows was nowhere. I was like in the others.
Oh no!
You know,
and many more.
Many more.
You were many more. Wait
I was
a
like
minute.
that.
Bishop
That-
Benjamin
I was-
was once many
No,
more.
certainly. I was.
Rebecca Malupe and many more.
And they would say Rebecca Malupe,
Barorisi
Barorisi Bamurena, and others. and I was on that. My name was never there.
Incredible.
So, but I kept on and on and on, and but at the same time, I would interact with all of them, because even in her album, I wrote a song.
Okay.
And then and it became very strong because they were doing shows and they would actually sing that song with Vuya Mokwena and things like that. I was really satisfied and content.
Yeah.
And that I'm still there, and kept on going.
Did you feel at the stage that this is a nice slow growth? Because that's also encouraging. So yeah, cool. This is slow, Maria, cool.
Yeah, but you know how
what
it
kept
is.
you going?
You know how it is. Sometimes you would say, "Hey, but is it working?" I even wrote a song and that says, "Don't let me give up."
Oh no!
Because I was very close to giving up and then saying, gospel. no.
Maybe not.
Maybe it's not my thing because it's not actually giving me what I'm expecting, the recognition, and of course the money and
The life that
all
comes
the
with it.
lifestyle. Yeah,
Yes.
and I thought no, and I wrote that song. My music would be played on radio, but there wouldn't be like a breakthrough or a
Ish.
blowing and
Phew.
even after Holy Spirit I just felt like no man, it's not happening. But I don't know, somehow something just kept on saying, uh, do you love what you're doing? Do it in spite of,
Yeah.
because of the love of it. And you have the gift to do it. Yes, I think I do. Um, so continue to do it as long as you have the fulfillment at the right time. It will happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you know it's I imagine that a lot of us go through this moment
Yeah.
of wanting to give up, of thinking that things are not working. This is a normal human
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
This,
Yes.
even in the best of movies,
Yeah.
staring,
Yeah.
say I give up,
Right.
and then things turn around.
Right.
So,
right.
so your story is exactly that, where you just. But I like how you say it's that you like what you're doing.
Yes.
Because that is when a lot of people struggle with that moment, that I like it, but it's not feeding me.
Yeah, I think, truly speaking, you have to have patience. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to be patient with the gift you have. It's not only the money that one needs to look into. It's the fulfillment and the what it brings for other people. You know, that joy, that happiness, even if it may mean just for that few hours.
Yeah.
But those few hours of joy and happiness may actually springboard somebody into greatness in saying it's worth living.
So you recognized, Ellie, that your role in society was to bring this joy and happiness.
Um, I don't know, man, whether it was clear to me at that time, but it was bringing me joy. It was bringing me happiness. And so I thought it is worth doing because all I can think of, and um, like other people are saying, my dopamine was coming through doing that.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and so why not?
Yeah.
Well, and I kept on doing it, and up until it broke.
What was the breakthrough?
The breakthrough came, I think, when I then found myself in saying, I am a South African, and I need to represent South Africa, meaning South Africa as in my writing, in my music, in my presenting
True.
myself, or in the way I do music, you know, because initially I would just want to do English songs. And so I realized, no, wait a minute. I'm not an American. I'm not a European. I'm an African. And therefore, let me kind of like come back home. And I remember I then recorded an album called Love Africa.
Jeez.
Because I was actually speaking to myself in saying, come back.
Boy and dot.
Yeah. And when I did that album, people started, oh, he can sing Zulu. He can actually, oh, okay, Sutu. Oh, okay. and I moved on now even to other songs which were hymns that are in our language and all that. then I felt comfortable as time went on.
Yeah.
But I kind of like breached,
Okay.
I would go to English, sorry, and contemporary. I would
Mm.
come back to Zulu and tradition, and hymns sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I actually, I think I had a breakthrough there.
What influenced the English in you? Because
Yeah,
the music is a reflection of the person.
yes.
What influenced the English in you?
It's because I was listening to a lot of Western music.
Mm. Who were the artists, if you remember?
I mean, I'm talking the
Oh, that
OJs.
stuff.
I'm speaking
The
Manhattans and
Spinners,
the Spinners
all
and
that
all
time,
that.
the Manhattans,
And
that
then when
time.
coming to gospel, I would actually under Crouch
That's what
and
it
and
is.
and and, and um, Walter Hawkins and quite a number of those. But I was more onto that because I wanted to kind of like uh, challenge myself in really becoming international.
Ah.
That's where my mind was,
Mm.
and at that time, but as I was growing, and as I was actually, even when coming to music, I was actually opening up. Then I
Mm.
realized, okay, I can actually listen to some of my African brothers. I can
Yes.
listen to my South African, brothers and things like that, and learn something out of
Yeah.
them, because I was more into Western sound.
You're not alone, you know that. During that time,
Yeah, right.
Ali Cat had the same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Blondie and Papa had exactly the same thing.
We
So
were in the
you were
same
same
alone.
bus,
Yeah,
same bus.
exactly.
It kind of worked for Blondie and Papa with the music that they were creating.
Exactly. Yeah,
Because
it did.
it's exactly the same style of
But
sound.
but they would always refer their music to some people in the US, and
Hmm.
Blondie and Papa and Blondie, and then you have what is this duo?
Mark Alex.
Yeah, no. The in the
Oh, in the
states,
States,
in the
okay?
states, there was a duo
Mhm.
that you would say, oh,
Like that. Oh, yeah,
like
like
that.
Abo Band.
Yeah, yeah.
Obafana no.
In America,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I think that's where we were,
Yeah, no, you were.
and we were listening to more of that
Of
stuff,
course.
even on radio.
Of course.
You know,
Because I
so
remember,
it influenced
yes, the
us.
Blondie and Papa song, I'm Still in Love with You. It had
Yeah,
that
right,
very
right, right,
American
right.
style to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
when I remember I had a chance to speak to Blondie, and he makes references at times like, hey, man, that's what was going on around us.
Exactly.
What else could we have done? There was nothing else around us.
Exactly. And then
Yes.
you spend more time in listening to that, you actually become it,
Yeah.
and you follow that route because you don't know anything else
That's it.
but what you're hearing and what you're looking at.
Mark and Alex,
Yeah.
and I stand to be corrected. I don't think they have a African language song. Like, correct me, and I'm happy to be corrected.
No, as far as I can remember, too, they never, because they brought the fresh sound,
Aha.
and they were more onto
Poppy and
pop,
dancing.
and
Oh,
all,
hey,
yeah.
quick, quick.
Which of course was working for. But I think there was a song.
It's possible.
The last recordings
Okay.
of theirs,
Yes.
they ended up putting in some
Yeah.
African languages
Hey,
there and
man.
things like that. So, but I'm not very good with memory and things like that too.
But when you look back, clearly you must be happy you made that big transition, because that's a huge transition.
Yes, I think it really helped me to be a versatile artist or musician, if you
Mhm.
like. I was able now to kind of like tap into other areas that I never used to,
Yeah.
and even listen. I mean, to some other people Lucky Dube, and then we did even a duet together,
Phew.
and so I roped in some of the people just to help me to tune myself and
Get this right.
yeah, to remodel
Mm.
oh, who Benjamin is.
So this was conscious.
Yeah.
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 You
I
were-
had to make it a conscious decision
Mm.
in saying I need to do this.
Jeez.
And so that I may be relevant
That's true.
and to where I am.
I think I skipped a part of your life. But there must be a childhood memory that stands out that was special for you.
Yeah.
What stands out about your childhood? Is there a memory that you look back and for some reason it keeps crossing your mind, whatever it may be?
My childhood memory.
Yeah, something that stands out about mommy or daddy that till today it's a reference of yours, whether it's a lesson of
Yeah,
sorts.
I think if I can Wow. Now
Look at your
this
mind is going.
yeah, listen, because we used to perform in weddings.
Mm,
So my mom, uh, we were struggling,
mm.
and so uh, I didn't have shoes,
Ooh.
and my mom had to actually take my sister's shoes,
Mm.
girls'
Oh.
shoes, and I had to wear them to go and sing.
Ooh, bana.
And I'm playing guitar.
Hey, you're playing guitar.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. Actually, hit the core in me
Mm.
in saying I don't want to live this kind of life.
Yeah.
You know, after that, I didn't even want to go and perform because of
What?
that in mind. It was kind of like it couldn't leave my memory in saying, so I just because I didn't have shoes, I had to wear girls' shoes
Mm.
for me to be able and go and sing and perform for other
Incredible.
people.
Mm.
And that actually made me realize this is not the life that I want even my children to experience.
So it inspired. What did it inspire? The ambition?
Well, to actually to be successful
Yeah.
in everything that I do, to to be prosperous, and at the same time, I think to put more effort and work
Mm.
on my craft, so that I may not find myself in that same situation again. It My craft, my gift
Mhm.
must actually take care of me, because one other thing, I was looking up to Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Yeah.
that
Of
time
course.
as I was growing up, and
That's why you left the family.
uh,
Don't worry. Don't worry. He also left the family.
yeah. Anyway, I think partly I really wanted to be like Michael Jackson,
Mm.
and I I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I wanted to be famous. I wanted that recognition
Mhm.
and all that. And I thought to myself, no. And I got to know that Michael Jackson put so much into his craft, dancing, singing, and all
Mhm.
that. And I said, I want to be like that,
Yeah.
and so that I may not lack, I may not be poor, and all those things, and that I happen to see in my family,
Mm.
you know. So, uh, but that was a driving force
True.
behind me doing what I'm doing.
Mm.
And I put so much effort into it. But yes, the truth of the matter is that you never end learning,
Mm-mm. Never ends.
goes on.
And I like that you say that. Does that very thought,
Yeah.
the shoe story,
Yeah.
Does it still cross your mind?
Well, it does. That's why I'm actually talking about it,
Yes.
because I never forget it.
Yeah.
Um, it actually made me become like, I don't want to do this.
Mm.
I don't want to sing. I don't want to perform. I don't
Whoa.
want to do
because
this
it comes with this.
because we're lacking. We poor, and I
Mm.
happen to end up wearing girls' shoes and all those things. So it never left my mind. It's always there.
Incredible.
But I thank God, because um, uh, you know, I understood that it took all that for me to cherish that which I am having now. That there are those that do not have, and therefore I need to be a good manager of what I have, and at the same time give.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
Do you know something that stands out? And you spoke about that just a little bit. You made reference to how you work harder
Yeah,
because it influenced you to
yeah,
work harder.
yeah.
If you've been to a Bishop Benjamin Dube's concert, 2 concerts in a row, you will the first one you'll be blown away. The second one you won't believe
Yeah.
that he did better than the first one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and it keeps
yes,
going.
Yes.
And that's the
Yes.
experience with your shows.
Yes.
It's like sometimes I tend to think, oh, Alubaba wins are too much.
Yeah.
I promise you. I remember this concert with the band in the middle of the arena.
Yes. Yes.
And I
yes.
think it had little, I'll call it corridors for lack of better technical reference.
Some holes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, I've never seen, we don't do this. We put people on a flat stage.
Right. Just a
and
simple.
The best we can do is give them an LED screen.
Yeah, and lighting.
And great lighting.
Yeah, right.
It'll look good.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Sade uses a show like that. But then what is it about you and your shows that you feel the pressure to make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger?
You know, I always compete with my last show.
Sheesh.
Or let me say, I always want to do better
Yeah.
than my last show. So, but I'm one person who believes in excellence, who believes in professionalism, who believes in doing something that sometimes people are afraid to do. Yes, it comes with a lot of budget, and comes a lot with a lot of work in
Of course.
it. But I always want to give people something that I have imagined, something that I dreamt about, something that will actually say, Benjamin has taken time to really give us this. He didn't just do it so that he can get and go. He's done it to give and go.
Yeah.
You know, and I think my prayer is that there would never be a time where I'm actually running with my experience. That's why I always hang around young artists, young people who are innovative and who somehow would keep me evolving. You know,
keep you young.
Yeah,
keep your spirit.
Yeah, exactly. Because I then learn from them, even while I'm actually investing and depositing into their lives. And that helps me to actually be unpredictable. And to always come up with something new and that people will look forward to.
Do you know the pressure with that? And I wonder if you experience it. I've had the the rare privilege of doing concerts in the
Yeah.
past 3 years or so. And the pressure that I felt was, how do I beat the last one? It's a horrible pressure to
It
experience
is. It is.
because you know what you did.
Yeah.
And then mine are TV shows. So they're watched by so many people. They're so public. You can't, it's not a concert,
Yeah,
need
right.
3
Yeah, right.
or 1,000 people.
Right, right.
And the pressure of, and you watch a lot of references and you say, well,
Mhm.
never tried that.
Mhm.
I remember when we got Lira to come from the bottom of the stage and, things
Yes,
like that.
yes.
And you always have this pressure.
Yeah.
Surely it's not fun. And you do this to yourself.
Look, the team that I work with, they always get back to me and say, you see, you actually did it to yourself. Now we don't know where to go now.
Yeah, boy.
What are we supposed to do now? And I mean, the very experience of that stage that I had and the center,
Yeah.
kind of like turning
Uh-huh.
and it was after that I was like, okay, so where do I come from now? Do I come from up and then kind of like hanging and then I saw Casper in your vest.
Oh, yeah,
I said,
he came
wow,
from- yeah,
why
he did
not?
that.
Why not? Let me try and do that.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, it's still coming. It's still coming.
No.
Jeez.
But it was a very difficult way of trying to make sense of where to go.
Next, what do
Yeah.
you do?
No.
And also with the center stage and all, it's because you have to sort out the acoustics of the room.
Yes.
Because the room is a square shape. Sometimes it's round because it's an arena.
Yeah.
And it's always tricky to create perfect acoustics in a round room.
Well, look, I was so blessed because I had technical guys
Yeah.
and guys who are working with big productions, and I happened to be working with them via Spirit Music,
Mhm.
and so they work with them and all
Okay.
that, and so and guys who are very much technically inclined,
Mhm.
who design and they know maths and
How to make it work.
yeah, to make it work. I was like, yeah, right. This is what I want. I don't know.
I want a round stage.
Yeah, I
in the
don't know
middle.
how you're gonna do it, but I really need that thing. I need that thing.
Jeez.
And so even some ideas that were coming from them were amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to actually involve proactive people,
That's
you know,
true.
and bring them into your space, because they actually later on they deliver and they actually make you look good. It's not everything that people see that I do that has been actually created by me.
Yeah, not everything
know.
has your name on
No,
it.
no.
Yes.
And that's what I loved with them, because they were so creative and even pro-creative, meaning they would anticipate, okay, this won't work, let's do it this way.
Yeah.
That would work, and check all the angles as
Jeez.
to whether things I wouldn't know. I would just come, okay, yes, this is it.
It was nice.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I thought about.
Yes, exactly. The spirit of praise, the concept. Where did it come from?
I actually joined them. They actually gave it to me
Okay.
to run it from volume 3.
Ah.
Yeah, they meaning Aubrey Peacock from Spirit Music, the CEO. He's the one that actually, together with a gentleman by the name of Opam Siwahaye, and of course, I think among them there was Keke
Okay.
Pofolo. And so they came up with that concept in doing Spirit of Praise. but they were looking at having the spirit music artists
Okay.
being featured there,
Got it.
and then have the choir that will be backing all these artists from
Okay.
spirit music. So they started and they did whatever they did. I was just licensing to spirit music,
Okay.
and so they did it themselves, and I was not part of it. And then later on, they actually roped me in, and Aubrey then said, "Can you just be part of it?" And as an artist, then I said, "Okay, fine." Then I was involved in creating the actual content,
Yeah.
and then from the volume 3, then they said, "No, no, 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 Benjamin, you run with
Hamba
it."
nayo ndoda.
Yeah, run with it. Already I had a concept that was called Praise Explosion.
Okay.
Yeah, already I had done a recording of it, and then concurrently they were running. And later on, I thought, let me actually put everything into
This.
spirit of praise.
So, because you realize that when we think of spirit of praise, we see no one else's face but yours. Like to us, that's your joyous celebration.
Oh my
When we
word!
think joyous celebration, it's Monulin the
Right,
land.
right,
Yes,
right.
I know there are other guys, but with Monulin the land fest in our heads. Yes.
True, yeah.
So it's the same with spirit of praise.
Yeah, many people actually, that's how they look at it.
Yes.
And that's why most of the time, if there are things that they don't understand, they always address them to me.
Naturally.
But Bishop, we see this spirit of praise, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh Lord, okay." I think I ended up having to actually refer to spirit. I would just say at
That's
spirit,
okay. Yes.
and all that. But quite a number of people suddenly, I think I've put everything that is of my mind, let me put it that, my soul, my heart into it. And I'm so glad that, it has become the way it is.
Jeez.
And but I'm sure, without a doubt, it has now. It's like a machine, and that is running on its own.
So it still has you and the guys who started it. It's still part of a spirit of praise.
Not all of them.
Okay.
Not all of them,
Yeah.
because some of them actually left spirit music.
Okay.
So they pursued their own.
But it's still under
companies.
spirit music
It's
as a
still
concept.
It
yeah.
is. Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is. And now they are running it as an artist of spirit music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So that ensemble is a baby spirit music. All we're doing now is to make sure that we bring other artists who are current and push even their music, redo it under the banner of spirit music, and then of course even create more content or write more songs. Yeah.
Do you still do other concerts, not those by promoters, but those that you are putting together as on your own, where outside of the spirit of praise concept? Do you still do your own
Myself?
Yes.
Me?
Where it's just you running your own show, or this is
that's where my life is.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do, like, no doubt. I've got so many invitations, and obviously only after I've recorded, then I kind of like consider doing a tour, and going to different places, or maybe even give the franchise to promoters and saying, okay,
You do it.
You
Yeah.
organize that, but it's under in his presence, and I do that. Uh, at the same time, doing spirit of praise, we kind of like bring in different or individual artists in becoming part of what I'm doing separately, not as spirit of praise. Yeah.
But you know, something that stands out about Spirit of Praise for me is how it has showcased so much South Africa's talent.
True.
Some we knew about, but Spirit of Praise kind of added an extra feather to this thing.
Yes,
you know,
kind of like
that's what we've noticed about it. Yeah, and also some we didn't know so well until they were on that stage as well.
Yes.
When you look at Spirit of Praise as an idea, what do you think it has achieved from your perspective?
I think it has solidified the craft of those artists that were doing their own thing on their own, you know, in their own corner. I mean, I'm talking the likes of Nezimu,
Jeez.
you know, such a very great talent, great writer, you know, and when I brought him in, it just blossomed. It became bigger, you know.
Abotaki.
And Takindo,
Yes, yeah.
and Omega, and quite a number of
the list
of
is
them.
so long.
Yes.
You almost featured every big South African gospel artist.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you know, I've always had levels, you know, and I've kept levels, and I know, okay, this one is perfect for Spirit of Praise. Okay, this one, I think I can bring him into my concept, which is in his presence.
Got you.
You know, and it kind of like I've put them in categories. Some of them they fit in both.
True.
You know, and so I would run with them on both. But I think it is important for one to know when the stage is too big for somebody, so that that person may not be swallowed and feels like he doesn't or she doesn't have it.
Because after that experience,
yes,
you may have created problems.
Yes, and then that person would say, "I don't think I'm cut for this," you know, and yet you've put him in a place before, either before or the wrong place.
Jeez.
So
as a science.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful as to how some of them whom I really look up to, and they would say, "I want to be in Spirit of Praise." I said, "No, no." I think give others a chance on Spirit of Praise so that they can build themselves, and you are already there.
Yes.
And so you need to know where you are, and so just run in that level.
direction. Yes,
in that level.
Yeah.
And then don't drop. Rather go higher.
Incredible.
Than
because you featured, about Dube Cockstart have been on that stage. Yes.
And they're doing amazing. And sometimes I just sit back and I'm in awe of the talent that we have, you know. And but at the same time, I know my responsibility. It is to cover them, and at the same time to speak to their lives in making sure that they don't lose it.
Yeah.
You know, and be grounded, and don't lose it, and then think that you're already there.
Jeez.
Press on.
Keep going.
Keep going, because there's no way you can say you have arrived. And if you have arrived, then you need to get out of the place. You have arrived. You've done it.
You're right.
So let other people.
Yeah.
Bye. You're done.
What else do you have to do?
Yeah, you're done.
Yes.
If you have arrived, and that's why I don't want to hang around people that have arrived.
You don't have the have arrived attitude.
No.
Yet you've been in the game for so long.
No. I always learn from even those that are coming after me.
We think you've arrived.
No.
But allow us to have our own opinion about you. We think, we think you have arrived.
No,
not in a bad way.
No,
But we
yes,
think
I understand.
Yes.
I understand, but I think there's still quite a lot that one can learn. Remember, one other thing, times change and sounds change.
And the audience's taste
too.
changes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you cannot say, I know. You cannot say, I'm going to come on stage and blow them away, because there's always, evolving and growing into it or growing in the industry, and and they're using gadgets. So much that is going
changing.
on. And I need to learn that too.
Yeah.
So I think that has kept me mobile. I'm not immobile.
You've also done featured a number of artists that are not necessarily seen as traditional gospel artists in some of your shows.
Yes.
They're not seen as a typical gospel.
Yes.
They probably haven't done it. They like it. They enjoy it, but they will probably think about it, but never done it.
True.
Who give us some of the names? I think Judith Spuma.
Spuma.
Yes. Not Simpiwe Dana. It's
no.
Who is it? Who else have you featured?
No, recently I've done Brenda.
Okay, Brenda Mtambo. Okay.
Yeah, the recent album that I've released now, Legendary in His Presence. So, and I've done Sipogazi.
Sipogazi, that's where I said Simpiwe. That's what I'm thinking. Sipogazi, yes.
Yeah. So it kind of like people that really love gospel. People that really, and most of the time I would speak to them and talk to them and say, look, I like your act, and then they would say, oh, but I wish I could do gospel and all that. And then I would kind of like, okay.
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Not long ago I was with Judith, and Judith did a song that kind of like, she took it to another level, and recently he was saying, no, but Bishop, I need another song now. I need another song.
Another gospel song.
Yeah, gospel song.
Yes.
Yeah.
She'll be performing alongside BB Winans very soon.
Yes.
I remember I introduced BB Winans maybe 10 years ago at Carnival City.
Okay,
and Judith was in the audience. I wonder if she remembers. She was in the audience, and she was literally the most excited person in the audience. And BB called her up to come and sing along with him.
Really?
And they did. They did a song together.
What?
I wonder if she would remember.
But Judith is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Judith, you can actually throw anything to her, and she will come out like, with flames, and then you think, well, okay.
I didn't know.
Right? I didn't know that you could actually handle it. The interpretation that she brings, it's like, that's you.
But that speaks a lot to South Africa's talent.
Yes. No, we have. We have wealth of talent.
It's
and quite a number of some they are not known.
But yet you hear them sing, they blow you away.
Oh, man. Especially when coming to gospel, I can tell you now, and by virtue of the fact that now gospel has taken a different tone, which is worship, then you realize, you've got the likes of Ntokozo, you've got the likes of and who are really, really so authentic.
Who's this Hope? Somebody, Hope. Gineilwe Hope.
Oh, yes. No, it's because I just recently
Mm.
started to know about her.
Ah.
Yeah, and she actually is in the in
In
Spirit of
nine.
Praise 9.
Nine.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. There's a
yeah.
lot of talent.
Oh, amazing.
Nine is 2023 release, right? It's
Yeah,
this year's
yeah.
production. So
2023.
this is what we should be consuming right now.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
So it's only now that I feel Spirit of Praise has its own ground or
Mm.
grounding, if you like.
Wow.
Um,
Only now.
yeah, I think so.
There's a white cover with pinkish, purplish. I think it was 6. Spirit of Praise. It's quite white, if I
Yeah,
remember the cover.
yeah.
It's by far my favorite. Let me look.
Really?
Yeah. I know I should have others that I like, but I like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
wouldn't.
I'll tell
Remember.
you.
Pink. Yeah, okay.
Spirit of Praise. Okay, just give me a second.
Is it 7?
I'll tell you which one it is. It's not giving me album covers. Images. It's pinkish with white.
Well, can you?
I found it. I
Okay.
found it. This one.
Volume 6.
I did say 6. Yes.
Yes. That's where Pastor Nazimu.
Jeez.
Yes.
Yes.
No, big.
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 You see what I mean?
Big. But I think right now, truly speaking, I think everyone now is beginning to understand, okay, Spirit of Praise is grounded,
Mm-hmm.
and we
I'm surprised you say
we can-
now. I think we've
Now.
known that.
now, because I think it kind of like as a new, a fresh talent, and
Mm.
that actually represent, what Spirit of Praise is all about, is really coming up with the now sound,
Yeah.
and we were able to evolve and to kind of like,
What is the now sound of gospel?
I think it's worship. It is at the same time hymns,
Mm.
and being presented in a fresh and now,
Mm.
even when coming to music itself, and it is packaged in a very very current way.
Mhm.
Even the hymns themselves are
Wow.
current,
Yeah.
and people are connecting because it is more spiritual, and it is more of people that really believe in God, are Christians. They sing
Mhm.
about God.
Yeah.
They really express their love for God and their commitment to God. It's influenced by all that.
Yeah.
And yet, before or uh, back then,
Mhm.
it was more just like singing gospel.
Okay.
And would- even people that really didn't believe in God would actually say, oh man, I love this, the hymns, I love, and
They're
all.
nice.
They say something to me,
So you're saying now it sounds like it's coming from a much deeper
conviction.
place.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, conviction, and people can identify with it.
Talking about people, I think the appreciation for the music
Yeah.
is just mind blowing.
Yes,
You see it in the concerts that are put
Yes.
together. You see it when you play the songs on the radio. Hell, I do that all the time, and we can tell that okay, it's going to be a gospel day today. We didn't plan it,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's taking shape.
Right?
when we do requests in the
Wow.
1 to 2 hour, and you can tell it's like, oh hell, there's a gospel song. Watch
Okay.
it, because I have this thing. I say if it's nice, we're going to play it twice. So
Okay.
we ask people to vote,
Yeah.
and we would have a song that's requested, and then listeners will start voting. You can already tell
Okay.
which direction it's going to take. Yes.
Yeah, it's
And it
going.
all continues to tilt it that way. Whether it's a
Wow.
song by the OJs, which is a
Yes,
gospel song,
yes.
or it's a
Like
song by
Heavenly
you.
Father.
Exactly.
Yeah, things like
You
that.
can already tell,
Yeah.
that's where we're going today.
Yeah.
The appreciation by South Africans of gospel, has it always been this way?
I think there's so many that have actually gravitated
Yeah.
to the gospel, space now. Even some of the people that really are not into religion, especially Christianity, but they love the actual message. They love even the packaging of the message.
It's amazing.
Yes, and then
Yes.
like, wow, I love to be in this space.
Mhm.
This is a beautiful, even the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
When everyone's
so-
got their hands in the air, it just feels like it's amazing.
Why not?
Yeah,
It's,
let me be
I'm
a
in
part
the
of
place.
this.
Yeah,
Yes.
So and people really do even buy tickets, and then they don't mind fill up the place, and
Jeez. Gospel concerts always sell out. Always
Exactly,
sell out.
exactly. I mean that tells you that certainly there is a shift, and there is a a revolution
That
you
is
know that has
mind-boggling.
taken place,
Yeah.
especially through gospel.
And also, the artists live up to the game. They live up to it.
Yes,
They
I think
deliver.
yes, they
Your
do.
Dr. Doomies of this world. The
Yes,
shows
exactly.
are just
Exactly.
beautiful to watch.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember going to a Dr. Doomie concert. Actually, it was the last concert I saw at the Dome.
Yes, yes.
He had two drummers on
Ye-
stage, both playing at the same time. I'd never seen that. It's like we got two drummers. These are
Oh man,
no.
that was like okay.
All right, that's another
Can you
one.
see?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
two.
you see, we're doing it, man.
Jeez.
But I understand, because we have been kept so long in just thinking about the songs about the gospel, but not really putting the package,
Yeah.
or let me say, sorting out the look
Yeah.
of it.
That's your thing.
Yeah. And in fact, I must say, I actually give it to Joyous Celebration,
You.
because they are the ones that started coming up with all these concerts with lighting, stage, blah, 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 and all those things at the time when we were still caught up in the recordings, meaning CDs, or meaning records, and all
Yes.
that. Forget about shows. When coming to a show, we would just a hall, a community hall,
Let's sing.
and let's sing.
Yes.
There's no lighting, and usually we would actually do it during the day, because
Hey.
it's still the day,
Yes.
and as long as we have the in-house lighting
It's
in the
good
hall,
enough.
it's good enough. But they actually put more effort
Yeah.
into it.
So they are pioneers of this look that we got now.
I think so. I would give it to them, because as much as we had started earlier, meaning the likes of me, but we were not on that tip of like shows and doing
showcasing.
like doing it professionally and excellently.
Incredible.
Yeah, so certainly they did a good job there.
You have a song and it has a story. I spoke about it earlier. And I think you say, if I recall the story, you were driving and the song came to mind. I play it all the time on the radio.
Yeah.
El Shaddai.
El Shaddai Adonai.
Yes. Tell us a bit of the story, how that song came about.
In fact, there was my keyboard player.
Uh-huh.
My keyboard player, Tapelo, actually had this music, and the a clip
Okay.
of it, and then he gave it to me, and he
Just
said,
something he.
"Yeah, he just played around," and I said, "Okay," and I was playing it in the car,
Mm.
and I thought to myself, "No, man," um, and then melody started coming while he was playing,
Mhm.
and then, oh how I love him, oh how he can, and oh how, and then I thought, okay, then it changes, and then it goes somewhere else. And
Mhm.
then I thought to myself, mm, no, no, not English now here.
Ah.
We gotta come up with Zulu here.
Okay.
Jehovah,
Well.
wena sipepelo. Yeah, kind of almost like everything was flowing.
Mm.
And then I had to stop the car, and I was starting to write. And I was writing, and I kept on writing. And when I got home, I called him and I said, listen, we have a song. We have a song. And I
Wow.
said, the following day, please, let's come together and let's actually tighten this thing. And with all the melodies I put, and the BVs, and I
Mm.
put it in,
Jeez.
and all that.
That big choir feel.
Yes.
Yes.
Now it's almost like it's a national anthem. People are singing it. I mean, everywhere, every concert, every festival that I go to, when I just start, oh, everybody just comes in.
Jeez, man.
And I'm like, wow.
So it's look, you have a lot of hits, but that's surely a gift. It just dropped down in your head.
Sometimes I actually surprise myself and said, how did I actually write this song? I
So is this one of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's quite a, sometimes I would play it and I would think to myself, oh man, this must be God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gave me the actual idea, and I would not have orchestrated it. It just came together on its own, and it became this beast
Of a
of a
song.
song. And now even myself, I'm
Yeah.
able to actually, how can I say, be in awe of it.
You're also a fan.
Yeah.
You're also a fan of your own song.
That's God's gift.
There's another one. Every time we play it on the radio, and every time somebody calls and requests it, and then it gets votes,
Okay.
it always wins.
Wow.
He keeps on doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes. That's
it's one of those songs.
no. Keeps on doing great things.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it's a version that had been done long ago,
Okay.
and by an American
Mm.
who actually, somebody actually brought it with us, and then they translated it into Zulu.
Okay.
Ngenzela go
Got you.
ngenzela konke okuhle.
Uh-huh.
But he keeps on doing great things. Hallelujah, keeps on. It was almost like simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little too simple.
Too simple.
Yes.
And then I actually I heard it the second time with Brenda Mtambo with Joyous.
Okay.
And
Doing the one you just sang now.
the Zulu
Yes.
part. Yeah. Ungenzela. Then I thought to myself, in fact, I wanted her to come to and do it with me.
Okay.
She was not available.
Mm.
I think she was signed with Sony at that time.
Okay.
She was not able to do it because I actually arranged it and brought in my feel, my interpretation, and together with her interpretation of Joyous. So I merged them together.
Whoa.
It's
it worked, eh? Keeps on doing it, it works.
Keeps on doing great things. Look, I think I would sometimes take a song that has been sung before and interpret it my way, it
Mm.
becomes something else.
That's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Do you know, when you look at your career, your music career, what do you say to that young man that was uncertain, that young man who thought maybe I should be trying other things? When you look back at that young man now, what do you say to him?
Amazingly enough, David, the issue was I was confident even at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I had that, I exuded what that word, confidence that I would actually do something. I remember there was an interview. I said, gospel is not just the Jimmy Swaggart, you know. It's not the slow songs, the crying songs, and all that. Even though I do that sometimes,
Yeah.
because it hits hard in my heart. Uh, and I'm convicted by it, but I kept on saying it has to move out of the confines of any genre.
Mm.
You do any style and have the message of
Yeah.
the gospel of good news, if I may put it that
There
way.
you go.
That is gospel. And so reggae, whatever it is, whatever style
Can carry the message.
can carry the message.
Yes.
And for me, from that age when I was young, I actually wanted to do that.
Mm.
Every style
Yeah.
bringing the gospel.
Jeez.
And
You did with bubblegum.
even with bubblegum.
Yes.
I actually even did, there's a song long ago of Bangena Vapuma.
Yes, I know that song.
Vapuma
Yes.
Bangena.
Yeah.
It was the kind of like Mpansula kind of sound.
Yeah.
And now in Legendary, I have a song that is Mapiano.
Wow.
It's called Ebenezer.
Uh-huh.
I had done that song the time of Sillo,
Okay.
but now I brought in the sound, which is my piano sound,
To those words.
to those words.
Wow.
And amazingly enough, my son Nto, it does the loops and does the production, and he does quite a lot of music with secular artists. So he said, "No, Dad, I'm gonna actually do a loop for this thing," and it was like,
wow, you enjoying it?
oh yeah, I do, because I believe that it doesn't have to be a slow song. It doesn't have to be a ballad. It doesn't have to be a hymn like. Yeah, no. You need to bring everything. Everybody, they have their own, favorite. And so give them what they love in music.
In their favorite type of music.
In favorite type of music.
Yeah.
And then bring the good news.
Do you think that from that kid who had to wear girls' shoes,
yeah,
it worked? This whole thing worked?
I guess somehow I would say it was meant to be so that it can push me, and so that I would work harder, and I would not be complacent and think that it's never going to work for me. It pushed me and it made me want to, even for my family, to come out of that life and really make it happen for my family. Sure. Even though it was a journey for me to get to where I am, and I'm still in a journey for better.
So it's a 40-year overnight success.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's amazing.
It's a whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. for me, and I'm glad I've achieved quite a number and of things, and I've moved through many hurdles,
Yeah.
uh, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for where I am.
Raising boys.
Yeah,
Is it only boys?
yeah.
Jeez, not a single girl.
No,
Whoa. Do you consider it a blessing? You have to pay
it
mahadi
is.
mapaya.
No. It is a blessing. I think because they're carrying my name.
Well,
You
that's
know.
true.
Yeah. So
They're the Dubes.
yeah, the Dubes.
Yeah.
So in that understanding, I think I'm blessed.
Yes.
But over and above that, I think my interaction with boys is more exciting. Obviously, I wouldn't know how it would be with a
With
girl,
girls, yes.
yeah. So, but I feel more blessed that it is boys, and I can actually um, kind of like portray
Yeah.
before them what a father is.
What are some of the lessons that when you look at them and say, "Wow, they did hear me when I said that"?
Uh,
What comes to mind?
yeah, well, you know what? Look, there's quite a number of things that they actually I see in them. I see myself in them.
Mhm.
Like for instance, in being positive, uh, and at the same time being humble, and at the same time being considerate and really wisdom.
Mhm.
I see that because they don't, most of the time they don't act abruptly or emotionally or
Mhm.
whatever. They always want to think. They always want to kind of like debate issues and,
Mhm.
and, and
Mhm.
talk issues out instead of acting
Yes.
before they think. And that's what I love, with them. And I would look at them and say, okay, they're watching, not only just hearing me, but they're watching.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they are kind of like exhibiting some of those attributes, and even in uh, being able to tolerate, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
people,
Yeah.
and they take time. Obviously, they won't be like the same. Uh, the other person, you find that the other person would actually be emotional but
Mhm.
talk,
Okay.
and not be physical,
Of course, yes.
yeah, but talk, you know. Uh, the other one would not even talk and say, oh, I don't think it's necessary.
Uh-huh.
And the other one would say, no, but we need to actually debate this issue,
Jeez.
you know. And so I'm glad that it's not a house where there's so much turning of things and all that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's an issue of, okay,
Let's here it is.
yeah, here it
Yeah,
is. Let's talk.
yeah.
Think.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, I think if you do this, this is where you're gonna end. And
They still listen to you.
they still,
Yeah,
yeah,
because the older we get,
I
we
know.
think time. I
No. There would be that a time where they want to push their agenda,
of
you
course.
know.
And
And,
time is
and
old school.
yeah, right,
Things have
right,
changed.
right. Well, that does happen,
Yeah.
and saying, but then you will have to actually communicate,
Mm.
speak, talk.
Mm.
Okay, why do you think my thinking is not working here? Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, but then okay, I think I want it this way.
Mm.
Uh, if we do it this way, is it going to actually get us in trouble or
Mhm.
whatever? Yes, no, okay.
So it's open discussions.
We always do that. We
Yes.
always do that. But we end up kind of like sometimes debating issues more often.
You seem to embrace it. You seem to be okay with
I
it.
think it's better than, for me, it's better than just turning tables.
Yeah.
You know,
The alternative is worse.
yeah, yeah. At least for me, it's just making somebody use his brain
Mm.
and be, proactive in his view and perception, and give others even a chance.
Are they all in
Uh,
music? It's a deep thought.
Yeah, you know why? It's because they lean more onto music.
Mm.
One is doing brand. What is this?
Right. Marketing and
Marketing,
okay.
designing,
Okay.
all those things. Um, and the other one is definitely into acting and singing.
Mm.
And the first one, which is Mto, is more into production
Yeah.
and engineering, sound engineering.
Okay. But
Yeah.
your influence, your influence all
Yeah.
over the place there.
Yeah, there's a lot that is spread out, you know. So,
It's you there.
yeah, which I didn't want, actually.
Really?
I really didn't. I was hoping that maybe they will venture into something that is not in the family,
Okay.
you know.
Because this music comes way before they were even
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
of.
yeah. No, oh
Yes.
yeah.
Before you met their mom.
Before I met them, I mean, in my house, or meaning at home.
Yes, exactly.
So I thought
It's family business.
I grew with this thing. Come up with something else, man.
And they didn't.
And then,
Well, they kind of did, but not entirely.
not entirely,
Yes.
yeah. And then I actually even got to a point where I had to pray, Father, please don't
Oh,
let
no.
them be part of the music industry.
Because they've been on stage with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the reason why I actually got them into that,
Mm.
it was because they were criticizing.
Okay.
They were my critics
Yeah.
in my music. Whenever I would release an album, and they would say, but Dad, yeah, you didn't.
Hey,
And
man.
I kind of like saying, you don't know what's involved here. You guys think it's that easy. And then I ended up saying to them, okay, I'm going to give you a chance. I want you to get to understand what is involved
Wow.
in what I'm doing. And then I gave them a song, Holy, Holy, Holy.
Mhm.
And then we worked it in my worship in His presence. And we worked it, and I gave them parts, and we worked it. And their delivery actually surprised
Wow.
audiences.
Wow.
You know,
Did it surprise you?
yeah, it did to a certain point. It surprised, but I still felt, no, man. I thought maybe just before we record, they would say, no, Dad, no, we don't want to.
This is not for
This
us.
is not for us.
Really?
Instead, they pursued. And they said, no, it's fine. Let's do it. Let's do it. And when we did it, after that, people were like into them. And we had even when coming to them, they started saying, Dad, are we on the second one, on the next one? And
They enjoyed it. You started it.
but I didn't start it like I was that confident in saying they have the gift. I didn't discover their gift
True.
before. I actually discovered the gift while they were doing it.
You didn't see it beforehand?
No, I didn't.
Oh, hell. Are you glad you did in hindsight?
I think I'm glad.
Yeah.
I think I'm glad. And because at the same time, I thought to myself, okay, this is how my mom actually did it,
Yeah.
And so it had to be that way, So, yeah, I'm glad. But I'm glad at the same time that they are pursuing their own journeys.
True. Do you know, I'm going to wrap up soon, but
Okay.
as a man who's experienced so much life, both love life, mjolo, marriage,
Yes.
divorce, and all,
Yeah.
raising boys, what is a common theme that you feel they should know? And this goes to everyone who's watching, really,
Yeah.
about about life and love, about life and hardship that comes with heartache, that comes with the breakups and makeups. What lesson
Mm.
do they even ask you? I wonder. Timer. I have the situation. But what lesson do you say, let me
It's
share this
uh,
with you boys about that part of life?
it's so amazing that I happen to be the one that put them in that situation where they will have to kind of like talk about some of
Okay.
these things. And when I actually, okay, wait a minute, is there something going on there or
Mm,
whatever.
mm,
But then I would share my experience in saying, you know what, this is what I had experienced.
yes.
And especially when coming to your mom and myself,
True.
I think this is where I went wrong. And this is where, because it takes two to tango,
Mhm.
you know, and share that with them. Uh, but what I've discovered is that whether you share something with them or not, uh, sometimes they will have to go through the experience and for
Mm,
them to know it firsthand.
that's true.
But I always share my uh, how can I say, my mistakes, or
Mhm, mhm,
you
mhm.
know, and my falls and things like that, and saying, be careful of this, because in doing this it will actually lead to that and will lead to this. But yes, I must say that the issue of being a musician, the issue of being in the limelight, the issue of trying to please people, and sometimes it may actually not work well for you when you already have somebody in your life,
Ah,
to a point where I discovered that, when you actually smile with somebody who's the opposite sex, and
mm,
you know that you've got your woman next to you, it doesn't end well.
mm-mm,
You need to always be in cognizance of the fact that where you are,
mm,
and know, uh, here, I can be free.
mm,
Here, I need to consider the person that I'm with.
mm,
And even goes back to the issue of uh, commitment, because love, I discovered that it's not just a feeling, it has to be a decision that you make,
mm,
and that you commit to somebody, and that you spend your life, your space, your
mm,
time,
mm.
uh, with them, and because it happens not only as you're growing up, even when you are grown up,
Mhm,
and I discovered that um, when you get into marriage, you have to lose yourself, and make sure that you even both of you have to serve each other.
mm,
You are not there to be served. You are there to serve the other person, and vice versa. The other person need to serve you. In
mm,
other words, when I'm saying serve, not like a
mm, mm.
slave,
True.
but take care of the needs
Yeah.
of the one that you love, of the one that you have made a decision of spending your time, your space, your life with.
True.
In other words, you put them first,
Yeah.
instead of putting yourself first.
So you're saying recognize that
Yeah.
before you even decide to marry, that
Yeah.
this is what you're about to get into.
Yes.
It's
It,
a
it,
much
it,
bigger picture than you probably think.
it's not just you getting what you want.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
more like committing to making sure that the other person is happy. The other person feels belonging.
mm,
The other person is activated into wanting
Mm.
to do the same for you.
Wow.
And so it takes two,
Mm.
and it doesn't take one
To make it work
to make it work.
or to break it.
Exactly.
It takes
Both ways.
both.
Yeah, it
Yes.
takes both.
Yeah.
In fact, you may be the one that started, but the other one will respond to what you did,
Mhm.
and then it breaks or it grows.
That's it.
Yeah,
So you're committing to a life of service.
exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. In fact, it's not about. I would say personally. In fact, I have said it even to them, and I said, listen.
Mm.
Firstly, you need to work on yourself. Know yourself and get to know your craft
Mm.
and work on your craft and start
Mm.
building yourself. You need to be able to buy a place where you will stay.
True.
You need to have a car.
Afford
Afford.
your life.
Yes, I'm just
Yeah,
counting those
yes,
things.
but
Afford.
afford your life.
Yeah,
Yes.
and at the same time, build a machine that will run
Mm.
itself, so that when you get there, the person that comes into your life doesn't actually start afresh with you,
Hmm.
because you are the leader.
Mhm.
As a man, when
Mhm.
I'm talking my boys,
Mhm.
and you need to get to that point where you know for a fact, this is what I'm going to be doing,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm going to be. I want to earn. I'm going to take care of my family this way,
Hmm.
and all that. With me, when I actually got married, I was still trying to work on my craft. I was actually,
Mm.
I had already started performing. I had already, but I was not yet where I wanted to be. So I was able to take care of the grounding,
Mm.
but I needed to build, you know.
And that can be distracting.
Yes. And at the same time, it is demanding your attention
That's true.
for you to know as to where I want to go and how I need to go there,
Mhm.
to that place. And so it kind of like was difficult for me, but the gospel that I'm preaching now, to my boys,
Mm.
is that start as early as you can
Mm. To build
to
this
build.
thing. So
Yeah.
when she arrives, yeah,
You know that,
half the work is done, or
yes,
most of it.
yeah, at least you've done so much that she is able to come and help you
Mhm.
feather your vision
Yeah.
for your life, you know. And at the same time, obviously, I mean, you need to look into her dreams,
Mhm.
and make sure that you support
Yeah.
her, and for her to get to where she wants to go, and to achieve and to see her dreams realized. Because when you do that, and then she will definitely know,
Mm.
this is where I want to be.
True.
And it's not an issue of saying I am here just for him,
Yeah.
to
Yes.
achieve his own goals and all that. But you are there even to help her achieve her own goals, and together you growing,
Amazing.
So I think personally, um, that has been my take, because
Mm.
initially I was not there.
So you've seen yourself grow into this man, because that's not where you started.
No, no.
Yeah.
And I think all the experiences that I had, really truly,
Mm.
they helped me to know and understand the institution, I think, of marriage, and really know as to, okay, this is where
Mhm.
I'm actually failing or falling short, and therefore I need to work on this and that and that and that. But I wish I had known earlier.
Unfortunately, life doesn't work that way now, does it? We discover these things as we go.
As you go.
We say, it felt wrong
Yeah.
when I was doing it.
Yeah.
I did it, and now I've learned the lesson. That's
Yeah.
just generally how it works.
Oh no! With me, the biggest lesson I've learned is that I was a people's pleaser more than really looking into me as to what I want,
Where you,
I needed.
because I know people pleasers who like to please strangers,
Yeah.
and they don't please a car.
Okay, I
There
get.
are those types as
yes,
well.
yes.
They're very good with
Yes,
strangers.
you're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yes.
Because that is where
Mm.
I actually didn't pick it up
Yeah.
in saying, wait a minute, I need to start in the house. And then I can
Please
then
home
do
first.
others.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can be a people pleaser, but start here.
Yeah, right. but you see, even that too
Mm.
was on my expense.
Mhm.
You know, and because I was like, you know, people love me.
Mm. Mm.
And I need
Hey.
to give them what they like.
You're Benjamin
You know,
Dube.
yeah, right. And so even when coming to ministry, it was the same approach.
Oh no.
And until when somebody actually said, "No, I'm leaving,"
Ooh.
and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, but we are together. Well, I mean, we are together. No, 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 no. You all alone there,
And we are here.
and we are here. You seem not to care, you know. And I said, no, but I'm trying to, so that we.
I would have won the debate. I would have said Martin Zile must.
But what about the times?
I know.
What about the times where you actually didn't bring anything?
Oh yeah, oh that too.
You see,
Oh hell.
because I mean, it's almost like, okay, how that time
Mm.
and that
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And you don't want
And
want
that-
someone that starts counting.
Yeah,
now.
right,
It
right.
It sounds
exactly.
worse.
And
Yeah.
I did this.
Yes.
And I did
yeah,
that.
I was there.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I saw you on Friday. I saw you on Monday. I saw you on the 27th. And I said, well, what about the rest of the month?
and what did you come back with? I mean,
Ish.
there was no change.
Did you ever feel the need to? I'm a big believer in us saying askis. It's a part of how I'm designed. I
All right,
realize.
okay.
Yeah. I will say I recognize and
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It'll take me a while, but I'll get there.
Yeah, right.
and did you ever feel the need, or just life moves on? I guess because you're still a part of the kids' lives. Technically, you're still a part of the mothers' lives.
Yeah.
Did you feel the need to say, "Hey, Bon, yeah, but I recognize."
Well, I actually did that even just before it was made legal.
Okay, yeah, this is over.
Yes, yes. Immediately after that, and then it was an issue of okay, let's talk about it, and not only me, you, but even some of the people that can help us.
Okay.
You know, that we believe in.
Why did you see the need to do that if the relationship was technically over?
No. I was like, probably they may actually bring a different perspective
Okay.
and angle that she didn't see.
Okay.
She didn't actually be able to get to, you know, and then, but over and above, in saying, okay, I wasn't aware that this was doing this. And so let us actually try and come up with a way of resolving and things like that. But I think, you know, she was in that mind of saying, no, I'm done. I think it's here.
It's this done.
I really want. It's my happiness now. You
Yeah.
know that issue. It's my happiness, and I don't think I'm happy here.
Yeah.
So I'm really protecting my happiness. I want to be happy. You know,
And you are not bringing that.
you're not
Yeah.
actually a solution to that. And
Jeez.
so it ended up
Yeah.
going forward, and I
Jeez.
let it be. And I even wrote a song, "I'll Rise Again."
Wow. It
You
comes
know,
from
where
that.
will I go if you leave me now? What must I do? What will I say? Please don't go. Don't leave me alone. I've done you wrong, but I'll make it up
Yeah.
to you, 'cause I rise again. So,
Now they know it comes.
yeah, right. Yeah.
They didn't know.
Oh, man. I tell you.
You were a man going through.
Yeah.
You were going.
Yeah.
You were going through the most.
Oh no, it was a serious experience. And one other thing, I've never in my family, heard about a divorce.
Sure.
This was kind of like first time.
Yeah.
But with me, how can that be?
Oh boy.
You know. So yeah, but amazingly enough, God has a way of making things still work in spite of where you are. And I always say to people, sometimes you may be in hell, but experience heaven in that hell.
Yeah.
You know, and God is able to kind of like protect you and for you to come out unscuffed.
They say you find a tiny little oasis in the middle of a desert. There's always that little spot where there's the tree and a little bit of water.
Yes,
It's
yes.
that-
That's exactly what I actually found myself in.
Yeah.
And then somehow God said, "No, I'm with you."
Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's it doesn't mean if you've done somebody wrong, you've done me wrong. And then I kept on pushing, you know.
Amazing.
And today, it's like it's a story for
Yeah.
me because we have a good relationship with either one of them. And the boys have grown up and everything is like in place.
Kids don't always take divorce well. Were they old enough to experience
They were still
the
young.
hardship? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were still young, and they really didn't. It's only the third one that really didn't understand. So because he was around, what is it? I think 9.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other one was 11, 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he didn't understand, but the other two were really hard hit.
Jeez. They were caught in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
But later on, somehow we were civil enough in making sure that we both play our part. And up until everything just settled well, and now we are okay.
Do you know, every time I hear a story similar to that, it sounds like time has a tendency of
Yes.
getting things right.
Yes.
But
Yes.
time and patience, like let's wait it out.
Yeah,
It's
true.
Olunga. And also, as long as we're working towards it.
Yeah.
Because if you're ignoring each other,
Yeah.
nothing is going to work.
And one other thing, I think one needs not to kind of like rehearse the hurt.
Phew.
You need to actually move on, because, and that's what I did. It was that, okay, fine. It's done. I'm not going to actually keep going back and try and let's make it work. No. I then moved on. I focused on what I'm supposed to do, and my music, the ministry, and meaning the
Carried on.
church, and I kept on going
Yeah.
and aligned myself with my destiny and what I knew and I believed that God has actually showed me what my purpose is on earth, you know, and then I pursued that, and that's why today I'm where I am because of that.
Incredible. I want to conclude on this note. Do you still have dreams and big ambitions? And I say this in light of the way you do your shows, the way you
Yeah.
conduct your life, the way there's to me, when it comes to staging and things like that, you're arguably one of the biggest stagers I know. and that's why I ask, are you still that guy with, oh, you have no idea what I still want to do?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Because you're not a young man anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, the years that are left for me. And
Are
as
you
a,
at Sasa stage, at Sasa age?
listen, they don't want me at Sasa. They are not going. In fact, I know they won't give me even the Sasa card. The thing is, and which actually encourages me. And sometimes I know we're living in another generation or whatever time, but that encourages me is that in the Bible days, uh, it, young people used to be people of age, like 60 years old, 70. Some started actually having children at that age. I mean, as I read the Bible and I go through the history of some of the men and people that were walking with God and very close and committed to God, I realized that age was nothing. They lived longer, you know. Okay, but at the same time, coming back to where I am, there's so much that I still believe that it's expected of me, I need to do. And like, for instance, I've done a Legendary in His Presence, and quite a number of people kind of like think, okay, maybe this is his last. When he's talking about Legendary in His Presence, and he's bringing all his previous what is it, songs
collaborators,
and,
even songs,
even songs and all that, and I kind of like and bring in other legends and collaborate with them and all that, and yeah,
it's
and
finishing
yet
up.
I feel like it's only now that I have to now move out.
What do you mean by move out?
Really going Africa now.
Whoa.
I need to actually go and do like Ghana in His presence, like Nigeria in His presence, and I really would like to touch the continent.
Yes.
And so with whatever time I have, it is my desire to make a difference. Firstly, in our continent, and then I can move on and say probably London in His presence.
Do you know that with the technology we have now, because I've seen someone on YouTube react to your song.
Yeah,
there's these people who are reacting.
Yeah. Yeah, comments and all
I
that.
struggled with that concept, but I get it.
Right?
They play your song and it's like, whoa, did you hear that? And then they stop, they pause.
Okay,
And then,
I know what you're talking about.
I've seen someone in the US reacting to
songs.
your song.
Yeah, right.
I think you're not aware, but you're already big in other places. It's for you now to follow it up properly and go do
right.
concerts everywhere
True.
else. Yeah.
True.
But you probably will be blown away once
No.
you put a poster in the middle of Ghana.
No, certainly, because I have actually been to some of those places.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like I need now to do exactly what I have done in South Africa
Uh-huh.
in really uh, uh, drawing people
Yes.
to a recording where I would be able to actually bring in some of the talents in the area
Mhm.
and say, come, let's join and let us be in the presence of the Lord and let us encourage one another and let us strengthen one another. And at the same time, let us bring the good news
Yeah.
to the people of that area or people of that nation, you know. And I have already sons in
Mhm.
meaning in the music in Zimbabwe, in Ghana,
Yeah.
and people that really believe in my ministry, and then they actually follow me and they learn from me and all that. So it's that kind of a setting that I want now to pursue
Yeah.
in saying, let me be accessible to
To the
the
rest of the
continent.
continent.
Yes, and really be a blessing to the whole of the continent instead of being just here.
I'm blown away. This is retirement stage. And you're only just starting.
And that's what I've been telling people. It feels like.
Yeah, you've
For
only
me, it
just
feels like I'm
begun.
just starting, and somehow I feel I need to actually go out.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I need
venture.
go out. Even and I mean I brought some of the Americans to come and be part of my in His presence,
Mhm.
but now I really need to go where they are,
Yeah.
and if I'm to do something, do it with them, wherever they
Wow, man. I'd say this often. I mean, I'm going to heaven. I mean,
are. That's good.
no.
That's good.
Look,
That's where it has to
I must
be.
tell you, I consider myself one of the luckiest people I know.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
You are blessed.
And I say this
Greatly blessed.
because who out there is able to sit down, with Bishop Benjamin Dube and have a 3-hour, 24-minute conversation
Yeah, I know.
about life,
And
love, and everything else?
listen, man. And I don't always do this often.
I know.
And then
When
that's why
when I got a
sometimes
yes,
I
I couldn't understand it. When I got a yes, because you and I have had a lot of chats,
yes,
but not this
not
one.
this way.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Sure.
And that's why I look at it and say, well, I'm going to heaven. If I'm not already in heaven. I think I'm already there.
No, but it is a great pleasure, to actually be with you
Thank you.
and really converse and talk, with you. And you, one of the people that is so deep in even if some of the questions you would think, okay, no, this they know, people know, but you realize it is deeper than what it sounds.
It's not on the
And
surface.
it's not on the
Yes.
surface. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we need. And people need to actually converse and engage and talk
True.
about issues for us to grow in understanding the life that we have been given and entrusted with, and know it even from different angles and different people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it has been an honor.
I'm glad. How's the rest of the siblings? They still around?
They are still
Yeah,
around.
still strong?
And yes, and like I said, my sister, who is the firstborn, and the secondborn, obviously the aging
Of course.
and things like that,
Yeah.
and which is something that we always are standing together in trying supporting each other and making sure that they finish strong, um, and and
The other two?
the other two
Yeah.
are like my brother. He's actually my right hand in the ministry, so he's going on to in like growing but
Strong,
strong. Yeah,
yes.
and my sister too. She's the one that we actually always go back home for,
Okay.
and she's the one that is keeping the family house
Wow.
intact,
Yeah.
and so
It's very important part of
yeah,
the story because it brings
yes,
people together.
exactly,
It's
yeah.
it's something I continue to struggle with in my family. However,
Mm,
I recognize it more and more that it's an important part
it
of
is.
it's the glue.
It
Yes.
is, and I
Yeah.
think it's that part that actually says it's worth continuing. You know, when you go back and say, "Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
you know, this is where I'm coming from,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've learned something, and I think, yeah,
Mm.
I'm blessed to still have all my siblings alive.
Mom and dad?
Mom and dad passed on.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's
Mm.
they gave you all a good life.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They did. I think the foundation was very strong, and the roots are very strong, well
Mhm.
watered. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, yeah.
This has been incredible. It's I cannot believe it. I'm going to cry.
Ah!
I'm I did say, and I'll say it again, I'm one of the luckiest people I know. I get these
Thank God.
amazing opportunities. And this is one I say
Yes.
often, and we haven't flighted this episode yet. I got a chance to sit with Ntate Kaifa Semenya
Wow.
for 6 to 7 hours in this very studio, right on that
Wow.
very
Look at
chair. You know what
that.
I mean? Like, what kind of luck is that?
Wow.
Like, it doesn't
No, no,
come every
no,
day.
no, no, no. It's beyond luck.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
what
it's
is this?
beyond.
You know?
Yeah, I mean the favor that actually you have, and
Yeah.
you just need to say, Lord, I thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. You're an incredible man, and we continue to enjoy
Thank you.
your life. Your
Thank
life's
you.
offering to us is our entertainment.
Thank you.
Is what keeps ours going. It's what keeps
Yeah.
us believing.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier with the song, he keeps on doing great things.
Yeah.
I know for sure it's a hot favorite on my show.
Oh yeah.
I don't even question
I
that.
believe
Yes, it's
that.
one of those songs. And
Wow.
you have. If I was to ask you how many songs have you written, you probably don't even remember. They're endless.
A very big catalog that
Yeah.
I have. So I sometimes just somebody reminding me, you remember this? Wait a minute.
You have that
Wait a
problem. That's my
minute.
song.
Okay,
Wow.
listen, I need to go back to the song and
That's
then revive it.
incredible. That's incredible. To have a career like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just, you've been
It's just an
blessed. Eh?
honor.
What is it that,
Yeah.
and this is, I promise, the last question. What has kept you what has kept you around for this long in the music business?
You know, I get this question very often, but I fail to answer it properly.
Do the best you can.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
um, I believe the reason is that I live a disciplined life. I discipline myself. I make sure that um, uh, I become hard on myself. Uh, whenever ego rises up, pride rises up, and big headedness rises up or comes, I always make sure I need to hang around people who are still starting, people that are still aspiring, people that would like to learn, and more above is that above everything is that my relationship with God, prayerfully and really searching about life, keeps me humble, to a point where I would actually say, you know what, even though I may have questions that I need to pose with God, who created the heavens and the earth, but I I choose to say, how can I question one who has created me?
Mm.
Uh, all I can do is to just bow before you and say thank you,
That's it.
and bow and worship you and say, you know everything. And even my shortcomings, I'm not perfect. And I will never actually come through to people as one who knows everything, because we all know in part, but He knows completely everything because of His attributes. So that has kept me going in really wanting to know more, wanting to experience more, wanting to make sure that I even learn from those that are still young, and saying, okay, maybe I didn't get it right uh, during my time.
Mm.
Let me get it here. You know,
This is another chance.
yeah, and
Yes.
that keeps me current.
Yeah.
That keeps me going. It's kind of it's a secret that is there.
It's an open secret. It's an open. Do you know what I like about it? I'm glad you used the word current. It's easy to say, and I phrased my question by saying, "What has kept you in the music business for long?" And let me take it back. Let me rephrase.
Okay.
You've answered it already.
Okay.
What has kept you current for so long? That's the real question I should have asked. Because that's what has happened to you. No, you have. You've answered it. That's why I say.
Right.
That's why I'm saying after the answer.
Yeah.
Here's the real question.
Yeah, right.
You have stayed current for so long. It is actually quite incredible, and I want to say to you, thank you for always reacting positive to our inquiry, because it's not the first one, it's not even the second one.
Yes,
I remember during the COVID times, you came to the studio and
Yes.
you brought in your music, and I had mine.
Yeah,
Jeez,
but-
man,
Ah,
one trapper.
I had a good time. Man. I
One
really had a
trapper.
good time, man. And
Oh.
look, I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the time.
It's always a
And
pleasure.
I think just to your viewers, don't forget Legendary in His Presence
Mhm.
is out. And please go. You are going to be blessed. We're going to have 2 albums that are going to be coming out of it.
Mhm.
And one which is with my team, and the other one with all the legends.
Whoa.
And so it's your support encourages us or me
Mhm.
to continue to do what God has assigned me to do.
Incredible. Wow.
Thank you.
Singang.
Uh-huh.
It's
Thank you so
Benjamin Dube,
much.
everybody. I wonder if anyone calls you Benji. Do you have anyone that calls you Pastor Benji? Or
Oh,
Bishop
many.
Benji? Really?
There was Bishop Benji, Pastor Benji. So as long as my name is in there,
It's okay.
it doesn't matter. Even if you can say Benji, I'm okay.
They say you call a rose by whatever name, it'll still smell sweet.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Wow, thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure. I've been told I should tell you to like and subscribe. So please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.
King David Studio Podcast.